just not as fun. Weed got the weed, Touch got a gun. CJ got my credit cards and a lot of ones. I'm in the city.
I came here to show my nigga Drizzy love. You understand? He the reason I'm breathing in 2011. He asked me to get off of this motherfucking thing right here and help him do this shit. So I'm gonna get my ass down to do this shit. Let's go, Drizzy.
Tell me what's really going on. Drizzy back up in this thing, I'm ready.
What's happening?
Gone for surgery, but now I'm back again. I'm by my paper like a motherfucking statue. World Series attitude, champagne bottle light. Nothing ever changes, so tonight is like tomorrow night. I won't have a model right. Yo, bitches as hot as.
We're going to talk about this in a minute. Lil Wayne as well. But let's just get it warmed up while we get some people up in here. Let's get some likes going on the video.
I love myself cause I swear that life is just not as fun. Weed got the weed, Touch got a gun. CJ got my credit cards and a lot of ones. I'm in the city at a purple spring. Someone tell my lighter I'm on fire, she should work tonight. Call up to the diamonds and touch that it be worth the flight. I be at my table stacking dollars to the perfect height. Work some, baby. She just try to make it, so she right here getting naked. I don't judge her, but I could never love her, cause to her I'm just a rapper, and she should have never known her. That's why me and Lil fans can't keep up. I'm just feeling sorry for whoever got to sleep up. Yeah, bills everywhere, trill everything. Trenches stand for do right and kill everything. I told her I admit it. I hope one day we get married just to say we fucking did it. And girl, I'm fucking serious. I'm with it if you with it, cause your verses turn me on. And your pants are mighty fitted. Damn, I think you caught me in a moment like I catch you stealing flows, cause I swear I never loaned it. And like they know rehearsal, the camera's always rolling. So come and get a portion of this money that we blowing, cause it's on. Yeah, it's
Say no shit, and you just tell me what you down. Hey!
Things have changed, but I used to be around. But you should have seen them. Y'all make some noise for Uneasy, baby, one time. Oh, shit. Motherfucker, goddamn. Taking bitches out the condo like that. Eating money every day, I'm a groundhog. Like a Scoopy girl, look like a ground ball. I walk light, so I don't piss the ground off. Man, that's what my bitches do it till they suck the ground off. Yes, I am Weezy, but I ain't Ant-Man. James White Brown, money I brown. Make them run until they freeze. Like a marathon, 40's marathon. Haters carry on. I beat the pussy up. Call me Larry Holmes. Young money Jefferson. I turn every stone. She masturbates to me, that's how she learned every song. So women I condone. But right here when I'm gone, I'm not that uggish, not that ruggish. When I do, pack home.
I'm a machine,
and I won't work for nobody but you. And it's only me and her, cause double diet cool. It's blood bag slam, but I'm Hollywood Snoop. I ain't lying that shit, you don't need science for proof. I turn you to a vegetable, like you lying in soup. And when I'm in the pool, you know the line is loose. Man, I got so many styles.
I am a group. Okay, let's talk about these two. Let's talk about Drake. Say Drake. You know, like I said, man, this is what happens when mainstream rappers, or like, shall I say, these are the mainstream rappers, which, don't get me wrong, man, I ain't got nothing against Weezy and Drake. I like them both. But I just got to say, though, that, man, the way these two have gone out since this battle.
I knew you was gon' kill him.
Don't get him. Real nigga talking. Shut the fuck up, ho. Gotta do it one time for hate. What up, Soul? Okay. Baby, in the effort for front though. So that's why I'm bringing.
Soon as you banging, motherfucker.
You know what it is when I finally make it home. I just hope that you miss me a little. I just up with you listening? I'm down. You just tell me what you down for. Anything you down for. I know things have changed. No, I used to be around more.
Oh, okay. Well, we gonna talk about it.
What you should be.
We gonna talk about it. We gonna talk about it. Yeah, I'm trying to see what people are saying. You know, I just wanted to jump up on here and talk real quick and speak the mind of what we see. I mean, we already know what Drake is talking about. We already saw this post. I heard Charlamagne and the Breakfast Club speak today about Drake is the only rapper that took this L worse than any other rapper. Now, I know there's going to be some Drake stans that are going to be jumping in the comments, and I'm ready for y'all. And, you know, and there's going to be people that love Kendrick, and I'm ready for y'all too. But let's not get personal here. Let's actually just look at the fact of this battle and what it represents to hip hop. Because let's all remember, for those of us that are real hip hop heads, this is not the first time that there was a rap battle and that these two, Drake and Kendrick, there have been rap battles going on before these two were born. Okay? So it's not necessarily, let's not take it personal for those of you that are Drake stans and those of you, what do they call them? The K-dots or the K-bots? The ones that are the K-bots and the Drake stans. Let's not take it personal. Let's instead look at how these two men who are at the height of their empire and the top of their game, let's look at these two and see how they handled this battle. And this is why I have in another video that you can check out called How Kendrick Used the 48 Laws of Power to Destroy Drake. You could tell that Kendrick was just studying the game from a different point of view, and that Drake definitely underestimated his opponent. So now he goes up on Instagram and he does these types of posts. You know, I grew up non-confrontational. Let's just start it off with that, man. Just that first sentence right there. Okay? And I'm going to try to jump into the comments. I just want to get this thought off, man. I mean, that's why I jumped on here. Thank you for tuning into the radio show. I see we got a hater. Do we need to put you on timeout? Do we need to put you on timeout? No, we don't need to put you on timeout. We're going to keep the comments in. Listen, I welcome the hate comments because that's what keeps the algorithm going. Okay? Like, most of us aren't scared of the haters that got something real to say and that know what's really being talked about here. So as I was saying, with Drake, Drizzy Drake, you know, I grew up non-confrontational. But you see, this is the problem here, Drake, is that you provoked Kendrick in that battle. Most people that knew Kendrick said that when Drake was doing all the drop, we all know that, right? And all the other stuff. And he said something about like, you know, are you going to drop or are you not going to drop? Like, what's up, man? Hey, we waiting on you, Kendrick. Like when he did the, what was it? The tailor-made? When he did the AI? Come on, man. Come on, man. You're going to tell me when Drake did the AI with Tupac and Snoop Dogg, I already thought immediately right then and there that he shot himself in the foot. Shot himself in the foot with that one, man. You know, and it's like, you're going to tell me that people actually thought that was dope, that you got this Canadian nigga doing Tupac's voice? You see, that right there is exactly what I'm talking about. That right there shows that a lot of y'all don't understand hip-hop culture. I don't care what form technology takes. There's certain things that you just cannot do in hip-hop culture. You see, and that's the problem. That's why the title of this video is something like, you know, when you let cats like this into the mainstream. I don't know. It was a tweet that I put up, and then a lot of people seem to have agreed with the tweet. So I said, you know what? Why not make a video about this? So, you know, it's just like, these are the cats that are in the mainstream. Yeah, the soft cats that are in the mainstream. You know what I'm saying? And it's just like, Drake is a good rapper. Don't get me wrong, man. I mean, like I always say, his mixtape So Far Gone is still my favorite album by Drake. I mean, he got a few others too. But I will say, though, that just because you're a good rapper doesn't necessarily mean that you understand the culture. You see, KRS-One had always said to us, there's a difference between rap and hip-hop. Rap is something you do, hip-hop is something you live. You know what I'm saying? Like, there's a difference between the culture, and people forget that rapping is just one element of hip-hop culture. You see, this is what a lot of, the haters and all the people out there that don't understand hip-hop, this is what they don't understand, is that the only reason why you care to be a rapper, why most of you care to be a rapper, is because you saw the record industry go, and that was already around before hip-hop. They were already doing rock and roll. They were already doing jazz, blues, country, or all kinds of forms of billy bop and doo-wop and all that type of stuff, and classical. You know what I'm saying? The record industry was already out a long time ago. But then, people were rapping. People were always rapping in the hood, and they just thought like, yeah, that ain't going to be nothing. That ain't going to be nothing. That's nothing. Oh, you kids out there rapping in the street? Oh, that ain't going to be nothing. Why don't you go get a real job? Or, why don't you go to the army? Back then, going to the army, because we was fighting a bunch of wars back then, which we are now. But they try to manipulate it a little bit more in America. But, it was more in our reality then. Wars that were going on. People fighting in the streets. And people fighting overseas. So people be like, why don't you go to the military? Why don't you go to the army? What you doing over there rapping? You see, so the people that were out there rapping really understood the culture. All right? Like, they really understood DJing. They understood breakdancing. They understood graffiti. And then, some graffiti writers happen to be rappers. And some rappers happen to be graffiti writers. Or break dancers. And some people that knew how to break knew how to also rap. And some people that rap also knew how to break. Go back and look up most of the early 90s hip-hop groups. All of them were dancing in the videos. And not like dancing like you at the club, but like really like dancing like hip-hop style dancing, break dancing. It was like you couldn't just be a rapper. If you were just a rapper, you were not considered hip-hop. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's a real important point that I want people to understand. So when you're hanging out with your friends and you're asking Alexa, play hip-hop music, and then Alexa puts on Sexy Red, it's because Alexa doesn't know what hip-hop is. They think that, oh, that person's rapping, Ice Spice, so this is hip-hop and R&B. Your real hip-hop. Where you hear on the radio all the time, playing the real hip hop. And then they throw on Ice Spice. You see, and this is why the culture has been just so diluted, I guess is the word to say. Because they took hip hop, the record industry, they came and finally saw, oh, kids are gravitating towards this. Oh, they're throwing parties and the parties are popping. I mean, that's what it was, man. You just went out. They started sending A&Rs to parties and concerts or shows, hip hop shows, little local gatherings that are going on and saying like, wow, these kids, Run DMC, these guys got a buzz going on in the city of New York. Why not take a chance and let's sign them and see what happens? Boom, all of a sudden. What was it like, Run DMC? Definitely one of the first to go platinum, take over the mainstream. Everybody's bumping this all over the world, right? But let's be real. Let's be real. Should we be real, or are we going to sound a little racist if we say it? I mean, but that's what we're doing here, right? We're having a real discussion, right? It was white kids that really started buying it. The white kids. They bought it. Like, who was saying that? Black people don't buy nothing. We bootleg everything, right? But it was a bunch of white kids that started gravitating towards hip hop. You see, if white kids never liked hip hop, then hip hop would have never did what it did. Okay, so white kids actually liked the hip hop when the record industry started pushing it. And then the record industry started trying to tell y'all, this is what hip hop is. This is hip hop. This is rap. Oh, forget breakdancing. Forget graffiti writing. Who likes graffiti, man? Nobody wants you to write on their buildings. You know what I'm saying? Sometimes I feel sorry for stores. You know what I mean? And I see graffiti written all over their wall. I'm like, yo, that shit looks tight sometimes. Sometimes it looks whack. And it's like, damn, that's even whacker. But at least if the graffiti looks good, it's like, oh, okay. That sucks, but I mean, it looks kind of cool too, in a way. So it's like, you know, the record industry wasn't trying to push graffiti. They weren't trying, but you know, graffiti is an element of hip hop. A lot of people, so whenever you're driving down the street, especially if you live in the inner city or you work in the inner city, and you see some graffiti, you got to say to yourself, yo, that's hip hop right there. It's not just Drake. It's not just what you see right here or what they tell you what it is. So my point is that they brought Drake up into this industry. Fast forward, you know what I mean? I mean, there's a lot of rappers, obviously, that came before Drake. There's a lot of mainstream rappers that were out there before Drake. I mean, wasn't Soulja Boy one of them? I think Soulja Boy said that Drake stole his style, which I don't believe that fully, but there could have been some elements that he took. There could have been some elements. But yeah, Soulja Boy. I remember when I first heard Soulja Boy, that's when I knew that hip hop was officially taking over. It was already being taken over by that point. Before that point, I should say. But when Soulja Boy became mainstream and everybody was doing a Superboy, you know, Superman, ooh, or whatever that shit was, I knew that was it. That hip hop was done. It's over. It's over. It's a wrap. It's a wrap. You see? And a lot of y'all, you know what I'm saying, started listening to hip hop at that time and thinking, oh, this, and then the radio station was telling y'all, oh, this is rap. This is hip hop. You know what I mean? And then people was like, oh, this is hip hop. This is hip hop. And then you have Lil Wayne. I mean, Lil Wayne came before that, but that was my whole point about Lil Wayne. Actually, yeah, let me take that back a little bit. Because I remember, yeah, me and my friends that knew what's up with real hip hop and real hip hop culture, I think we both said, yeah, when Lil Wayne started becoming famous, we was just like, oh, yeah, man. Yeah, it's done. It's done now. When rappers like this are becoming famous, let me play his BET, because I see he's trending right now on Twitter, which is ironic. Let me see if I can find it. I mean, this video is probably already going to get copyrighted anyways for playing the Miss Me. Let me see if it's really dope. I mean, I don't know. Y'all tell me. In the basement, right? This is when you had to have skills. Somewhat.
Eyes lower than my test grades, but my flow so grammatically superb like my essays. I get them birds from them essays. I'm screaming squad to my deck day, and my jersey's a decade away from today. I'm a mess, babe, and I know you want the best, babe. I've been better since the rest, since Abe, and since I done put them spree wells on a Bentley. I sense hate, but if it doesn't make dollars, then it don't make sense. Get away, I'm here today and gone tomorrow. I live for today cause I could be gone tomorrow. I live what I say cause I could be shown tomorrow. I live what I said cause I could be gone tomorrow. I did it this way but I could be cloned tomorrow. So therefore I ball like this.
Okay. Seems like some of y'all have heard enough. And if we can get some likes going on this video, that'd be great to get the algorithm going, you know what I mean? Let me yeah.
No tomorrow, I'm small light, but all my flow is hard. And all night we tight, so you know we squad. Them cars tight, some boys dark, some boys bright. But no boys talk, all boys fight. Yeah. Through your place.
Yeah, to me, that was cool. That was cool. It wasn't garbage. You know what I'm saying? I mean, that's probably Lil Wayne when he was a little bit better. But you see, that's the point I'm trying to make here, is that that to me sounded like average rhymes. Those were average raps. You know what I mean? I hear people rapping like that every single day, man. Those are just average bars word for word, rhyme for rhyme that he's just putting together and making it rhyme. That's nothing, man. You know what I'm saying? So I feel that, I mean, come on, man. Come on. You see, but that's what I'm saying. We've gone ahead and we've made this the mainstream. Like, we've made this sound cool. And I'm just I'm just reading the comments. I was just reading the comments of what people were saying on this video, reading the comments of what some people were saying that were hating. And like, yo, man, it's all to the good, man. It's all to the good. Like, this is the thing, man. If anybody ever wants to debate, I'm actually willing to openly debate on this topic. You know, some cats I think are just like mentally challenged and they have no idea what they're even talking about. They just want to hate. Like, they just like, you know, being real tough on the internet. And that's a whole nother discussion. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's just a whole nother thing, that the hip hop that also pushes this gang culture. And now you got a bunch of people online trying to act like gangsters. Oh my God. Yeah, like, you know what I'm saying? I remember we could go back to the 90s, man, to like the late or maybe the early 2000s when MySpace was around. You know what I mean? We come from the MySpace era too, of promoting music on MySpace and going viral on MySpace. And I'm just saying, man, I remember me and the homies would talk sometimes about how, yo, when that was like, MySpace was like the kind of the beginning era of when cats wanted to like act hard online. You know what I'm saying? It was just like, yo, wait, what? Like, oh, like cats were like gangbanging online, like throwing up their sets online. You know, we were just like, you know, we don't come from that era of the internet. You know what I'm saying? I'm probably like the last generation that grew up without the internet. I really do think that my generation was the last generation, and I'm very happy with that, because this goes back to the point of this video, is that a lot of people are soft. You know, like this punk in the comment right here. Like, who the heck takes time to try to talk shit online? Like, man, let me tell you something, man. I come from the 90s era. And you know what I'm saying? Like, I really doubt that if anybody, like, you know what I'm saying? You know what? Let's not even go there. Let's just say this, man. Let's just be happy that there weren't cell phones around in the 90s. Because I could tell y'all right now that the 90s was, like, way rougher than it is now. You know what I'm saying? Just like the 80s was way rougher than the 90s. Like, cats are punks nowadays, man. Like, soft. Like, I'm telling you, man. And I think it's these rappers that they put in the mainstream trying to act hard, and then they're influencing a bunch of people in the streets to behave that way. And so now they want to go online and then they want to act tough because they're trying to emulate what they see on TV or on the internet, which is now the new TV. And they're trying to be tough. You know what I'm saying? They're trying to be hard, like it's cool to be hard. But a lot of these cats are soft. Like Drake, like when Drake was trying to be like drop, and he was trying to be all hard. You know what I'm saying? And then Kendrick came in and checked him and was like, nah, dude, I'm from Compton, homie. Like, we really get down like that in Compton. Like, I didn't grow up with a silver spoon in my mouth. Like, let's be honest, man. Drake is Jewish. And Drake, you know, not to say that he's being Jewish is this or that, but it's like, come on, man, how many broke Jewish people do you know? You know what I'm saying? And then not only that, but it's just like, yo, man, Drake even admitted that he doesn't come from the hood, which is okay. You don't have to come from the hood. I mean, clearly I don't come from the hood, but that's not the point, though, whether I come from the hood or I don't come from the hood. I also didn't have, like, I wasn't spoiled either, though. I didn't have all the great things. I had to work hard for my shit, too, though. You know what I'm saying? I had to work hard to get here. I had to make a lot of sacrifices and still continue to, you know what I'm saying, take risk and do things to elevate this business. You know what I mean? It's like, it's funny too, side note, where people talk about being an entrepreneur. Like now it's cool to be an entrepreneur. Man, back when I was coming up, it was not cool to be an entrepreneur. In some ways, it still isn't cool to be an entrepreneur. You know what I'm saying? But some of us out here did not become entrepreneurs because we wanted to. Some of us became entrepreneurs because we were forced to become entrepreneurs. You know what I'm saying? Because we weren't making any money, or we weren't making enough money in the job market. I mean, those of you that are smart, how many of y'all are just relying on one job in the first place? You know, so that's my point, man, is that this internet culture has made a lot of people soft. Just like we talked about in other videos about how the dating culture has changed women. Or, I'm sorry, not the dating culture, but, social media culture. But yes, dating apps and all that stuff too has changed women's perspective on men and how they react. And not to mention also the hip hop music too doesn't help. The Lottos and the Glorillas and the Sexy Reds. We already had Nicki Minaj and Cardi B. Lil' Kim was the pioneer of that. But if you really think about it, look how we have so many female rappers that are on that type of message. But we have no rappers, not that many female rappers, I should say, like Lauryn Hill. You know what I'm saying? Like we don't have anybody. And when was the last time that Lauryn Hill dropped? I'm wondering in that, man. Like, when's the last time? Long time ago, man. Long time ago, man. So yeah, that's my point of what I'm saying with this. Hold on, let me come back to this one.
Even a 4 at chess.
Let's keep it going.
No, that's cool. It's okay. That's
Drake
okay.
number 3.
That's okay. I thought Drake was gonna be number 1.
M's not even on the list.
Eminem? Who else was on the list?
Thank you for reminding me. Eminem will have to be on the next video.
Who was number 1?
Jay.
Jay-Z? No, that's cool. It's okay. That's
Drake
okay.
number 3.
That's okay. I thought Drake was gonna be number 1.
M's not even on the list.
Eminem? Who else was on the list?
Gooch.
Gucci who? Gucci Mane? Was on the list and Eminem went on the list? Shout out my nigga Gucci.
Yeah, Eminem's not in my top 10 either as well.
From the gotcha. Live from the 504, it's Mr. Crazy Flow jumping like a bungee, no rope. Even in the dungeon, I glow. Even if it ain't sunny, I glow. If it ain't about money, I go nowhere. I'm nailed to the flow. I am a sail to the water. Money's the sail to my boat. And it's going down like there's a whale in the boat. And you can smell what I smoke. And yep, I sip that lean. You hit me with that combination and make my eyes bleed. I'm a shark in the water. Yeah, I swim with the big. So I don't have time to deal with Willie the Squid. Lily pad, homies, look at the monster, man. You don't wanna crash like La 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 Bamba. Yeah, it's me, Rona and Terror, and my new drop is buried. Watermelon plum, just call it fruit punch. I'm an old rapper, getting new bucks, and all your new rappers, you are just new lunch. Flow sick, so sick, need a doc, yes.
This is better right here. This is a little better.
Creature, monster like the Loch Ness. I gets hotter by the tick for I sizzle to death. I just tell the clock, give me a sec. I'm in the middle of the wall where my enemy at. I'm running it like Eric be enemy back. I hear the track, I'm like an energy pack. The instruments are crying out, where the sympathy at?
Yo, if we can get a like on this, that would be great, man. Let's get some likes going so we can get the algorithm pumped.
Okay, I'm finna be that. Whatever rich look like, well, look, I'm finna be that. They say money ain't everything, but I look better with that. It's cash money, young money, have a sweater with that.
I mean, don't get me wrong, man. Lil Wayne got skills, but I'm just trying to say, man, overrated? Yes, definitely overrated, man. I mean, but he got skills. Like, he got skills, man. But let's be real, man. There's a lot of people out there with skills, man. And I know it's not always about your skills. It's about your team. It's about your marketing. That's what it really is. And I think that that's why Lil Wayne is where he is because he had a solid team, man, having Birdman, Juvenile, all these cats. You know, New Orleans probably got that strong foundation that wasn't going on in New York. It wasn't really going on in L.A. at the time. So they built like a strong union and kind of, formed. Cats was coming together as groups because Cats was smart. They knew that if they came together as a group like Wu-Tang, all this,
And just chill. See?
Yeah, I mean, shout out Lil Wayne. Okay, now the part about being a blood. This was the time when he was trying to represent that, where you see the bandana hanging over the mic. Now, I think Lil Wayne has changed since then. I don't think that he really represents this anymore. But you see, that's my point right here, where we got these internet cats that try to act hard online and pretend what they aren't. it's been a known fact. I mean, we ain't got to get into it. You guys can go do your research. But it's a known fact that Lil Wayne is not really a blood. There's been plenty of OGs out there that has said that he is not on the hood. Just like Chris Brown was out there trying to pretend that he was a blood. And he's not really a blood, man. These guys really don't bang. You know what I'm saying? You can't say that you bang after you became famous. Go look at Chris Brown's first video. His first videos, man. Does he look like he was really gang banging back then? If you wasn't on the hood banging then, and then you could say, oh, well, he probably got put on the hood late. No, he didn't. And neither did Lil Wayne, man. So that's what I'm trying to say. But then they've influenced. You see, this is the thing, man. I mean, you got people that claim sets. I mean, yeah, that was known back in the days too. But I don't know, man. It just seems like it's way more now. It seems like there's way more people now claiming. I was just talking to one of the homies about this yesterday, man, where it was just like, man, we speak about it all the time, but it's just like, man, the internet has just made so many people fake the funk, man. I mean, that, you know, that's a known thing. But now they faking the funk on gang culture. Yo, if we can get a few likes going so we can get the algorithm going, that would be great, man, because I'm about to, like, you know what I'm saying? I'm about to talk about on some realness. I'm about to talk on some realness. You know what I'm saying? Tough guy on the internet. Let me respond to this. Tough guy on the internet. Hold on. Let me respond to this hater right here. Tough guy on the internet. Oh, they ain't gonna let me respond. So all I can do is either put you on timeout, whatever. Here, let's just do it like this. Give me a second, young. You know what I'm saying? Tough guys. That's what we used to call them when we make fun of people that try to act hard, but they really ain't hard. We'd say, tough guy on the internet. Or you a tough guy. Actually, we didn't say that because the internet wasn't around back then. We'd actually just walk right up to somebody. Oh, you a tough guy? Oh, you a tough guy, huh? You're real hard, huh? Yeah, man. Nah, man. You ain't hard. Let me tell you something. Let me tell you what a real tough guy would do. A real tough guy wouldn't even talk shit on the internet. You know what I'm saying? Let alone show their face. You see, at least I'm up here, you know what I'm saying? I'm talking on the internet. I'm letting people know I ain't got nothing to hide. I ain't hiding. But I was just thinking that today, man. Like, are some of these cats like undercover agents? Because it seems like, why is it that all the haters never show their face? Or they're always got avatars. You know what I'm saying? Like characters or pictures of other people. But they always got something to say. They always want to talk some shit. But it's like their profile picture will be like L. You know what I'm saying? With no subscribers, no followers, no subscribers, nothing, no videos, no just nothing. But you're just commenting on YouTube. It's like, man, where do those people come from, man? Where do those people come from? But I mean, I guess you're right. You don't have to create a YouTube channel to put videos out. You could create a YouTube channel so you could be a hater and comment on other people's videos, I guess. I don't know. But that's where we're at now in the world. You know what I'm saying? Welcome to Demolition Man. We are now in the world of where people talk about cyber attacks and stuff like that. And like that's just hilarious to me, man. You see, that's the whole point I'm trying to make, man, about this internet culture, which it has created. But that'll be a whole nother discussion. Let's go back to the Drake. The topic at hand. Say Drake. Yeah, man. He has taken this battle terribly. And the reason why he has taken this battle so terribly is because Drake is, I mean, I don't want to say that. I think Drake is hip hop culture. Because why do I say that? Because I have his early mixtapes. And in his early mixtapes, he's rapping over Dilla beats. He's rapping over Ninth Wonder beats. So the fact that he knows about Dilla, Ninth Wonder, all these other producers, I'm sure he knows about DJ Premier. Drake is hip hop. He is hip hop culture. I will say that. Just the problem with Drake, I think, is that I think that possibly, I mean, I think it could be a few things. But one that's hitting my intuition right now is that I think that maybe he just got too big. He got too famous, man. You know, there could be such a thing as just getting too famous. And he just thought that he was just too powerful, which he kind of is in a way. He is kind of powerful. And by the way, this image behind him or where he's standing is very symbolic. Like, it looks like he's like in a church or something like that, in some kind of royal palace. You know, the imagery that he puts out there is very well thought out. Like, he didn't just take this picture like, oh, I'm just going to stand here and take this picture. Clearly. I mean, the jacket that he's wearing, the symbolic meaning in the background with the, you know, whatever that eye thing is right there, or that circle. And then the crown on this side or whatever, and the chairs in the background with the church window looking thing. It's very symbolic. Like, he knows exactly what he's doing when he puts these images together. And he is I know, because I've been to Africa, man. And you see this stuff like all over Egypt, all over Africa, and parts of Africa. He knows exactly what he's doing. And he's putting up like this Alexander the Great type vibe is what I'm feeling. So I feel like he just thought, like, this is my empire. I built this. I'm an emperor. I am too powerful. Nobody can take me down. Nobody can take me down. Not even Kendrick. And he underestimated Kendrick, man. And Kendrick somewhat came up in there like a David and Goliath story. This is somewhat of a David and Goliath story. Okay? And Kendrick basically crushed a part of Drake's empire. Now, did he crush his whole empire? Who knows? That's yet to be seen. I mean, I'll tell you what, he can't do the Party Next Door albums anymore. That's for sure. That was cool. That was interesting. But are you going to do it again? Like Charlemagne said, are you going to keep throwing little low jabs again? You see, that's bitch shit. Where I come from, that's bitch shit. Like trying to act hard on the internet. Trying to be a gangbanger on the internet. That's bitch shit. Listen, if you're gangbanging on the internet, you're a bitch. Okay? And furthermore, why are you even gangbanging in the first place, man? It wasn't that like played out after the 90s? Come on, man. That's the sad thing. What type of grown man still thinks that gangbanging is cool? I mean, you got Snoop Dogg hanging out with Bloods now, chilling with Bloods. So it's just like, yo, okay. I guess y'all still look at all the gangbangers, man. Look at how many of y'all been to jail? I'm not saying that that's a good thing, but how many of y'all been to jail? And if you've been to jail, I mean, I'm assuming you probably have if you're black, because they say that 1 out of every 3 black men goes to jail at least once. But the other point is that, okay, if you went to jail, did you do time? Did you do time? Anything under 6 months, I don't really consider time. Even people will say 6 months ain't even time. But did you do some real time in jail or in prison? Okay, then. If you didn't really go up in the prison system and bang your set, or at least put in your work on the streets, man, don't be talking about being a gangster on the internet, man. I bet half of y'all that act hard on the internet ain't never been to jail. Okay? And if you went to jail, you'd be scared, crying. You know what I'm saying? Unfortunately, I've been locked up before. And let me tell you something, man. I go up in there, I do my time, and I get the fuck up out of there. I don't be up in there on the phones, crying to my girl, crying. You know how many grown men that act all hard, and then as soon as they got locked up, they start crying. Y'all motherfuckers start crying. So yeah, man. I mean, that's besides the point. I'm just talking about how this generation has made a lot of people soft, man. And I think this internet culture has made a lot of people soft. And it's okay. If you're soft, that's okay. The problem here is that some people want to act hard and pretend to be hard when in actuality they're soft. And I think that is what happened here with Drake. Drake understands hip hop culture, and that might be what my point is here. Is that Drake understands hip hop culture. Yes. Do I think that Drake is hip hop? Yes. But do I think that Drake is as hard as he pretends to be? No. And this is why Kendrick had to come and check him. I mean, let me ask you a question, man. Do y'all really know what the song Peekaboo is about? Do y'all really know what Peekaboo is about? Peekaboo is about, man, I know what you did. I know what you did. And he was just saying it subliminally. He was throwing subliminal shots at Drake. But it's like, hey, man, I know the things that you did. And if you want me to expose it, I can expose it. You see, that's the real reason why I think that Drake backed out of this battle. I don't think that Drake really backed out of the battle because he had no more ammunition in him. Maybe he didn't have enough in him. Maybe he was just like, he couldn't do it no more. I mean, and I think that also it was that he knew that if he kept going, that Kendrick was really going to expose some dirt on him. Just like Pusha T said. You see? And that's why Drake stopped that battle after Pusha T announced that Drake got a kid that he was hiding the whole time. I mean, come on, man. That child was already like what? Like 3, 4 something years old by the time we all found out about him. So it's like, come on, man. They basically was saying like the things. Did you hear that Kendrick and Pusha are also about to work on an album together, by the way? Or not an album, but maybe a song or something. So it's like, you never know, man. Kendrick probably talked to Pusha T, and Pusha T probably was like, yo, man, I know this and that about him. Come on, man. Or the information is out there. So Drake probably knew, like, hey, man, this guy's already damaging his reputation. I mean, he wasn't at the whole point for the lawsuit. That was the whole point for the lawsuit for Not Like Us. Where it's like, hey, man, this guy's calling me, or calling him a PDF. And he's like, yo, it's damaging his reputation. He even says in the lawsuit that he lost money and he lost venues and that it is hurting his business and his reputation. This is why Drake pulled out of the battle. Because he knew that if he kept it going, that if he went any further, that Kendrick was just going to really expose this man. And that's basically what he did with Peekaboo. What he did with Peekaboo was basically saying, man, I know. Go back and watch the Super Bowl halftime show, man. Yeah. Go back and watch the halftime show. Watch it from a different point of view. When Kendrick does Peekaboo, really pay attention to the lyrics. Pay attention to when they're sitting at the light post and one person has the Peekaboo hat on. Did you know what all them young brothers sitting at the light post was really supposed to represent? I'm not going to explain everything here, man. But I'm just going to tell you that image means something with all them black kids or black dudes behind him doing the doo-wop thing while he's rapping the, what was it, At the Garden, something, but I Deserve It All. Where he's doing that song and he's got all the dudes behind him while he's rapping, and then one of them's got the hat that says Peekaboo. First of all them cats sitting at that light post represent something. Second of all, the fact that one of them's wearing a hat that says Peekaboo. Yo, man, wake up, y'all. Wake up. That should tell you something. That should tell y'all something. Drake don't want nothing of that battle, man. He don't want nothing of that battle. And I don't blame him, man. It might not even be just for business purposes. It might be for the fact of, I don't want nobody, you know what I'm saying? Like he just can't take any more of allegations coming after him. That's what I think it is. I think it's beyond the battle at this point. I think it's at the point of he don't want no allegations. Because he knows that if he continues to go further, that somebody who's smart, somebody who has a brain, and somebody who don't give a shit about this hip-hop beef and this hip-hop battle is going to go in and read between the lines. So he knows that it's time, shall I say, to pull out. You know, I grew up on non-confrontational, always treated this game as a sport where my pen won gold. But these days, looks like you got a typo right there, but these days the podium has been hard for all of us to ignore. I understand that this next chapter may leave you feeling uneasy, but I hope you see my honesty as clarity, not charity. Oh, because everybody's asking for money at your shows. That answers some questions, especially about the unanswered text you've been sending me. Whew. How do you decipher that, man? That's a bunch of code words up in there, man. A bunch of code words. Yeah, man. I just thought it was funny. I mean, you know, I might do a part 2 of this. I just wanted to jump on here real quick, test the waters, see what's going on. You know, I see that when we do our vertical lives, there's a different energy over there. So maybe YouTube is right about doing those. You know, some of these lives, who knows, man? I might start making some of these members only, especially the ones where we go deep down these topics and we speak about some realness. So I hope some of y'all are following, do the things. Thank you. We finally got a like coming in, man. We've only been on here for about 45 minutes. You know, thank you for the likes that are coming in. If you guys can keep liking, that always gets the algorithm going. But yeah, man. I mean, who knows, man? Maybe I'll try to stay up on here for like another 15 minutes to make it to an hour. But some of these videos I might start doing members only because, you know, we're going to go deep down some subjects, and I don't want these haters trying to flag videos and stuff like that, or, you know, get these videos taken down, because I've had to deal with that. But yeah, you know what I'm saying? Okay, so I see some cats up here. Let me see what your comment says. Dude, Work Hard says, dude, different branches off the Illuminati are at war. Honestly, it's power versus power, from government politics to entertainment politics. That's a great point, man. That's a great point. You know what? I agree with you, man. I agree with you. That's a great point, that the Illuminati is at war with itself. You know, I completely thought that too as well when I saw them try to assassinate Trump. It made me think that, wow, some people, the people that are stupid or just kind of naive, I should say, maybe stupid is not the right word, but the people that are naive are just like, oh, you know, it's just something that just happened. But people forget, man, that things like that don't just happen. You know what I'm saying? They just don't happen. Like, there was clearly an agenda that was behind that. There was clearly an operation that was set up behind that. So Work Hard. I definitely agree with your comment that it's power versus power right now. The Illuminati is at war with itself. I could completely agree that. I mean, come on, man. Let's be real. Drake, Kendrick are definitely two of the rappers that are part of the Illuminati. They're obviously part of the Illuminati. I mean, I was looking at the Kendrick tickets for his concert that's coming up in May, and his ticket prices, I think the cheapest ticket prices were going for like $400, maybe a little less if I'm wrong. But, you know, I know some people that are trying to get the tickets, and they're like, yo, man, the tickets are like $400. I'm like, yo, man, Kendrick, hold on, man. I mean, I've met Kendrick a couple times, and he's always been a pretty humble dude. But I got to say, man, it's like, yo, man, you're supposed to be for your hood and your community, which I know he is, because I'm pretty sure he's giving all his peoples free tickets. All the people that he knows, I'm sure they all got free tickets to the shows. But the people that he don't know, it's like, come on, man. Like, there's a lot of fans out here that want to see you and ain't got $400 to spend on a nosebleed ticket, you know? And it makes me wonder, who are those tickets really for, man? Who are those tickets really for? How could you be selling your cheapest tickets for $400 and you're selling them in brand new arenas where the arena probably holds at least probably around 20,000 people. So 20,000 people, let's just say at 400 tickets, or $400 a ticket, but you selling other tickets for more than that. That's like way up there in the bleachers. You know what I'm saying? That's way up there. So let's talk about the tickets that are like at ground level at the concert, like, courtside or whatever you call it, right up there up front. Those tickets are going for like $1,000 or more, maybe $2,000-$3,000, who knows, maybe even $5,000. Those tickets are going up high, you know what I'm saying? And it's like, thank you for the likes coming in, by the way. Appreciate it. It helps the algorithm. And those tickets are going so high, man, where it's like, yo, you're making at least like $8-10 million in one day, maybe more. And then you're doing that in 3 days. You're doing the same concert in 3 days. That's not covered. I'm not talking about the whole tour. I'm just talking about like in the one city. Like we could just say the city of Los Angeles. He probably making around $20-30 million just in the city of Los Angeles. You know what I'm saying? Let me make sure my math is right, because I like to make sure my math is right. So let's just say we have like 20,000 seats. Yeah. At minimum, if he's selling his tickets for that price, at minimum he's making $8 million. You know what I'm saying? And we already know he's making more than that. So that's my point, that you're clocking out of LA with $30 million in 3 days. You made $30 million in 3 days. Yo, that's more money than some countries have, I believe. $30 million US dollars at that. $30 million US dollars in 3 days. That's got to be some kind of Illuminati power right there, man. Like, how could you be that big, especially in what's going on in the economy right now and what's going on in the world right now, and the fact that you could have a rapper that could just go and make $30 million in 3 days, $10 million a day. I mean, of course, other people got to get paid. Of course, the venue's got to be rented. The staff's got to be paid for. All this other stuff, the dancers, the choreography, the producers, the technicians, the lighting, the microphones, the engineers, the cleanup staff, the bartenders, the restaurants, the waiters, the bathroom attendants, all that stuff. You know what I'm saying? Okay, we get it. Security, let's not forget. Okay, so we get it, man. All that's got to be paid for. But I guarantee you that Kendrick is probably still walking out there with a few million, which is cool, which is what he deserves. But that just goes to show that, especially in an economy that's inflating, that goes to show that there is some type of power that's going on here, man. Like, there is a power that is going on. If you are able to convince people to pay $400 for a ticket in an inflation economy, you obviously have some kind of power or agenda behind you. And that part to me is what I find fascinating. I don't just look at the fact that it's like, oh, Drake is doing a concert and his tickets are this cost. I go deep and analyze it, man. Some might even say overthink it. You're overthinking it. Yeah, you know, I sometimes I like to overthink things. And let me know if you guys can still see the stream all right, because it was telling me the stream was kind of cutting off and on right now. But yeah, man, let me know what your guys' thoughts are, man. Give me some likes. Tell me what's up, man. We've been on here for almost an hour. I've been rambling for like an hour on this. And I could really go on and ramble more on this. You know, it's just sometimes you start getting in your feelings and you're like, oh, man, I don't know. Maybe this is stupid. But then I realized that, you know what? That's not what YouTube is for. YouTube is for you to just express your ideas, even if they are dumb. Right? But we know that this isn't dumb. We know that this is the truth. This is the truth of what I was saying earlier, that Drake is hip hop. But I do not think that he understands the culture anymore. I think he lost the culture. I think he got too big-minded, too big-headed, whatever you want to call it, in his own mind, to where his own ego blindsided him, to where he wasn't aware to look around him. I mean, this is in the book, The 48 Laws of Power. And he just didn't pay attention, man. What was it? He lost his mark. He got off his mark, you know. And it's like, yo, Drake, man, everything you're doing is setting a bad example for hip-hop. You shouldn't be trying to file a lawsuit. You shouldn't be trying to do any of that. What Drake should be doing is that he should be going hiatus. You know, it's like a breakup. When a girl breaks up with you, I mean, for those of us that have been in some relationships, I'm pretty sure a lot of you internet nerds, not the ones that follow this channel, but some of the people out there, internet nerds, probably never even had a relationship, right? You know that they said that growing now, a side note on the internet, that there's a heavy statistic that men don't even talk to girls anymore in person, or like the young men that are coming up, like the young teenagers that are now growing up have said that they've never approached a woman in person or a girl in person. Like, so this is where we're headed. But Drake needs to treat this like a breakup, where he needs to go on hiatus and disappear. The worst thing you could do when a girl breaks up with you is to keep calling her and keep being in her face and saying, why? Well, maybe we could just make this work if you just give me another chance. And no, you're supposed to be a man. And if a woman decides that she doesn't want to be with you anymore and that she wants somebody else's dick, then you're going to have to just man up, take the L, and move on. Now, if she comes back, that's when you decide, should I take her back or not? But before that, you need to treat it like a breakup. And that is the problem with Drake. That is the downfall of Drake, is that he doesn't know how to treat a breakup. He can't take it. He can't take his ego being crushed. I bet you $20 that if Drake were to just disappear, like kind of like how Kendrick kind of did. If he were, and everybody thought like Kendrick retired, like Kendrick didn't drop an album for a long time, and then boom, he just came out of nowhere with the Mr. Morale, right? And then now here he is, boom, again, like that. And then boom, again, with the battle. So Drake needs to like apply that same strategy. Obviously now he doesn't need to apply the same exact strategy that Kendrick applied, but he could apply a strategy that's like similar to that, to where he goes and he disappears on hiatus, right? Let's say for at least 6 months. Just, you don't hear nothing from Drake, nothing. No tweets, no Instagram posts, no stories, nothing. Just go silent for like 6 months. Just disappear. This is what you're supposed to do when a woman breaks up with you. You're supposed to accept the breakup and bounce. Never give her what she wanted. Disappear. And then you know what happens when you disappear? You know what happens? Is that people start to wonder. People start to be curious. Now you build some type of mystery to you. You know what I'm saying? Like, I understand some people can't do this. You know, when people are coming up, it's hard to disappear because you got to be constantly in people's faces to cut through the noise. You know, like us, like beatGrade, like we're coming up still right now, even though we've been in the game for nearly 10 years now, but we're still coming up. You know what I'm saying? But it's like Drake is famous enough to where he does not have to be in the spotlight. He is famous enough to where he could disappear, like I said, I would say for at least a good 6 months. And people will probably be wondering, like, where's Drake? Where's Drake at? What happened to Drake? But you see, that's the problem with Drake, is that his ego is so inflated that he's afraid that if he disappears for 6 months, especially now, that Kendrick, I'm sure, is who he's really afraid of, is going to take his spotlight and going to be like, oh, I can't disappear because if I do, then I will never be out there again. I will never be, you know what I'm saying? I'll never be able to make a comeback and I'll lose everything. So I got to keep dropping. I got to keep putting out an album. I got to, he dropped like what? Like a album where he put 400 gigs or 500 gigs of music out and nobody gave a shit. And then on top of that, it's like, oh, okay, let me do an album with Party Next Door. It was all right. Remember, everybody was like, album of the year, album of the year. Here we are, like, what, a month later? It was whatever. You know, Kendrick's GNX has now, like, topped it, I think, again on the Billboard charts. So it's just like he's just trying to do too much, dude. You know what I'm saying? It's like some of the songs you put out were good. Some of the songs you put out were good on that album. Nokia, I like Nokia. And, of course, Give Me a Hug and a few others. But it's just like, come on, man. Come on. Yeah, you put out an album with like 20, 22 tracks or something, and out of all those tracks, only maybe 2 or 3 of them were good. That's an F. If you got like 3 or 4 out of 22, if you score that on a test, you would fail. Or at least D-. Okay? So, or we could go, you know what I'm saying? Like, that's what it is, man. No, not above C average. So that's my point, man. Drake needs to disappear. He's famous enough, man. Don't worry about it, dog. Don't worry about Kendrick. You see, if I was in Drake's camp, this is what I would tell him. Kendrick clearly won that battle. I called it on TMZ back in May last year when some of y'all was saying that Drake is still winning. Elliott Wilson. Man, Elliott Wilson, how he just turned the tables real quick. I remember this dude went on Joe Budden's podcast in the heat of the battle. And they were asking him, so who do you think is winning? This is like after Kendrick dropped Not Like Us, I believe. It was around the time of Not Like Us, Meet the Grams. I mean, come on, man. Kendrick really just destroyed Drake with Meet the Grams. Let's just be honest here. Meet the Grams is just so harsh that he couldn't even do that song at the Super Bowl. Not even, no question. Like, y'all was looking at Not Like Us? Like, that's the funny thing. Some people are like, oh my God, I can't believe he did the song Not Like Us. What if he did Meet the Grams? Can I get a like for that? I mean, I'm speaking some truth right here, man. Let me get some more likes up in here, man, so we can get this algorithm going. Yeah, man. Okay, I'm going to come to your comment. I just want to make sure I finish this point because, I start reading the comments and then it starts making me think of other things, which is good, because that's what we're supposed to have here is an interaction. Yeah, man, if he did Meet the Grams, that would have been the end of it, man. Like, that would have been just too much, man. And you see, and that's my point, man. That Drake is he just needs to disappear, man. He needs to just go away, And like I said, if I was in his camp, I'm not a Drake stan, and I'm not a K-bot either. That's my point. But like I said, I definitely believe that Kendrick won that battle. And journalists like Elliott Wilson were saying, oh, at that time when I already knew in my mind that Kendrick won this battle, it's over. It's a wrap. There's no way, like when I heard Meet the Grams, it was already a wrap. Then Kendrick dropped Not Like Us. I said this verbatim on TMZ. Go look it up. It's on my channel. I said this verbatim on TMZ, on TV. Your boy was on TV. Okay? Talking about Drake and Kendrick. What better time to be on TV? Not only was I on TV, but I was also talking about Drake and Kendrick on TV. And I said right then and there, Kendrick has won this battle. That's it. It's a wrap. And then I remember watching Joe Budden's podcast around the same time. And then Elliott Wilson goes on, who's a journalist I respect. And he says, oh, I think Drake still is somewhat winning. Oh, man. I was like, I couldn't believe it, man. I couldn't believe it. But what I couldn't believe, actually, at that time, I kind of could believe it because I think him and Drake were friends. Or, let's be real, man. These journalists are compromised. We already know academics is. We already know academics is a psyop. Okay? He's entertaining. He's very entertaining. He's fun to watch. And I understand that that's why people watch him. But let's be real. if you're watching academics to get real music opinions, you're an idiot. You're an idiot. Like, when I watch academics, I don't watch academics to get his opinions. I mean, some opinions he has good opinions on. Some takes he does. He wouldn't get to the level that he got to if he didn't. Okay? So I'll give him that. He definitely has some good takes on some certain topics. Some topics. Majority, no. I would say it's like 80-20. 80-20. Okay? But, and maybe academics at one point was more real, but he has obviously been compromised. Like, the record industry has bought him out and is paying his bills and paying him to say the bullshit that he tells you. This dude even straight up said on a stream, he even straight up said that Drake got to go, I don't even know if I can say the word, he got to go kill Kendrick or something like that. He said that on the stream. And I'm thinking, yo, man, whether you joking or not, why would you even put that message out there, dude? Especially the fact that you got millions of people watching your streams and you putting that message out there like, yo, Drake just got to go do this. He got to go do that. He got to go handle it. He just don't even need to rap anymore. Just go handle that, Drake. Get it done. I was just like, oh, so did this dude just put a hit out on Kendrick on YouTube and they allowed that to like, that's the thing I was tripping on. Undercover agent, dude. Undercover agent. PSYOP. If you don't know what a PSYOP is, look it up. Actually, let's look it up together, man. PSYOP. Because this is important, man. I think that there's a lot of PSYOPs in hip-hop right now, man. A PSYOP is an acronym for Psychological Operations and Military Strategy that uses communication and unconventional tactics to influence people's emotions and behaviors. Okay? So this is what a PSYOP is. This is academics, man. This definition that you read right here is academics. And if you understand this definition more clearly, you will also understand that a lot of rappers in the industry are using this strategy. Notice the key word. That it says a military strategy that uses communication and unconventional tactics to influence people's emotions and behaviors. Yeah, man. Y'all got to start realizing that a lot of these rappers and a lot of these people are just psyops. I definitely believe that academics is a psyop. I definitely believe it. So Elliott Wilson, I think, also was compromised at that time, and he was trying to keep his relationship with Drake. And he knew that if he said, yeah, Kendrick won that battle, even though you know that damn well deep in his mind he was thinking Kendrick won that battle. How can he not, man? You cannot be that stupid. He had to have known. But he was like, no, well, I think it's close. I think it's close. You know, I mean, I don't know. Kendrick, you know, Drake. And then what happened? Then when Drake stopped taking Elliott Wilson's calls and stopped texting him, and then I think it was when Drake posted on Instagram that Elliott Wilson is a rat. That's when Elliott finally said, you know, it's really interesting. After Drake called you a rat, then you said Kendrick won the battle. It was like the next day. Like, not even the next day. Like, a few hours later, Drake says Elliott Wilson is a rat. Elliott Wilson posts on Twitter, Kendrick won this battle. K-Dot error. K-Dot now Elliott Wilson is just, I didn't even want to say it, but it's true, man. Now he's just riding Kendrick's dick. He's riding Kendrick's dick like, so I just can't even believe it, man. I can't even believe how he's doing it, man. Where it's like, dude, you was all up on Drake. And then all of a sudden now, here you are, Team Kendrick, after Drake called you a rat. So that's my point, man. A lot of these journalists are compromised, and y'all got to see that I'm doing this like real music journalism. You know what I'm saying? I've been in the record industry since the 90s. I worked at Interscope, Sony Music back in 99, 2000, okay? I was already at the record companies before hip-hop was mainstream. Well, no, hip-hop was mainstream at the time, but before the internet, shall I say, which kind of feels like that was like another version of mainstream, okay? So, you know, I remember like we would do street promo. I started off in the promotion department, and I remember we'd go do street promo for concerts or rappers coming out. And this goes back to the days of like putting the posters up on the walls, you know, which people still do, but, you know, this was like a real thing back then. And then we had to take pictures of it, you know, buy those disposable cameras, you know, the Kodak disposable cameras. And then we'd have to take pictures of it and then put it in a photo album. And we literally had a photo album of all our work, of all the pictures that we took. Like, we put the signs up and the flyers up on the streets, hand the flyers out, do all that stuff, take pictures of it with the disposable camera, go to like the, you know, the store, get the photos developed. So then have to come back a week later, have to wait for like a week for them to get developed, come back a week later, get those photos that were developed, then go get a photo album and put them in a photo album, like a big book that was about this big, like a binder book of just photos of all of our street promo. And then we would take that to the record companies and show them, this is what we've been doing. This is the job that we've done. So you got to pay us for this. This is my hustle, yo. This is the hustle I know, just to give you guys a little short story. This is how hip-hop I am. This is why when I see people trying to debate me on hip-hop, I laugh sometimes. Like, man, y'all don't know, man. Like, I was doing this before the internet, man. I was doing, like, imagine now, you got your cell phone, boom. You don't know nothing about having to buy disposable cameras and getting your pictures developed. You know what I'm saying? Let me read the comments, man. Work hard. I appreciate your comments, man. That's right, man. Work hard. That's how I feel too, man. Word up. Have you ever watched Drake's YouTube show called Us and Them? That's where Kendrick got Not Like Us from. You should watch that and review on your free time, Us and Them. Thank you for the recommendation. Work hard. I will do. That's what I'm here for, man, to take you guys' recommendations. I hope you guys are liking and subscribing, you know what I'm saying, to the channel. I'm thinking about starting to like stream every single day, man, because I'm going to tell you right now, man, I'm not going to be confined to just one environment, and I'm not going to be confined to just one job. I actually want to do this and take this all over the world, man. So I appreciate all the ideas and anything that you guys got to say. That's why it's like, I don't even care how many people are up in here. I'm not really doing this just for y'all. I appreciate the people that are up in here with me, but I'm really just doing this also for me. You know what I'm saying? Because I feel like I got something to say and I got a message to say. And a lot of these people out here, I feel like they just don't understand hip hop culture. Like, dude, y'all can go back and watch my first viral video. I already went viral on the internet with the KRS-One interview. Okay, I was talking about Illuminati back in 2010 before it became mainstream. People didn't even know, Illuminati, what's that? People didn't even know what the Illuminati was. You know what I'm saying? We were already talking about this in the 90s. So I'm going to preach like some dope shit, or maybe I shouldn't say preach, but I'm going to talk about some, you know, some realness, man. So all the likes that you guys can do, all the comments that you guys have is highly appreciated, man. And I try to read all the comments and I try to take all the advice. But yeah, I will definitely check that out. Thank you for that recommendation. As a matter of fact, let me make a note of that right now. Us and Them on the Drake, and that's where Kendrick got the Not Like Us for. Drake's show on YouTube was before his fame. No lie, we'll understand. The industry made Drake. Okay. Yeah, I mean, I've seen Drake when he came up, you know, and you could tell that when he came up to who he is now is definitely a different Drake. But, you know, men mature and men grow into different people. You know what I'm saying? I'm not the same person who I was in my 20s, you know, so that's a fact. But, yeah, I mean, I could see your point, though, how, listen, man, I mean, one way you know the industry tells you who to listen to and who not to listen to, because a lot of the rappers that are mainstream, that are famous, you know, it's always the same rappers. You know what I'm saying? It's like the same 10 rappers. And then maybe in a new year, they insert another one. And then that one becomes those 10 rappers. And then maybe like another few years, one of those 2 rappers may fall off. And then they just insert 2 more. And then they're in the cycle. I'll give you an example. Jay-Z, right? Drake, right? Kendrick, right? J. Cole was one of them, right? He kind of, you know, made some mistakes, but yeah, J. Cole, right? There's others that I might be forgetting. Kanye West, of course, right? So those are the 5, right? Where's my camera at? Right here, right? 5, okay. And then what else we got? You know, wait, let me make a note of this because this is kind of important. This might have to be another video. They got the 10 rappers that they insert, right? And you see, Doechii, I just wanted to say real quick, she's like that new one if you look at it. Like how the industry's just like, Billboard names her Woman of the Year, you know, and all this other stuff, and then she gets the Grammy. She's the new female rapper that's been inducted. Okay, Cardi B, that was the original one. Like you see how they induct them. Like when Cardi B did Coachella, right? And then I have this on my channel too, by the way. Cardi B did Coachella, and then Jay-Z comes up to Cardi B and like shakes her hand like, I really like your stuff. Oh, you know what I'm saying? And then after that, Cardi B just took off. Like Cardi B wasn't even really famous yet. I mean, she had a buzz, but she wasn't like Cardi B now the way she is now, like doing Balenciaga, Louis Vuitton and all this shit. She wasn't that Cardi B yet. She was just like, you know, money bag, money bag, money bag, whatever her song was, right? And then after Jay-Z said, oh, I like your stuff, because Beyonce was headlining Coachella that year. So after Beyonce was headlining, Cardi B was in the crowd, of course, watching Beyonce, right? And so basically Jay-Z came out to her in the crowd and said, oh, I like what you do. You know what I'm saying? And then after that, you just saw Cardi B take off. So my point is that there's these rappers, these 10 rappers that they just fluctuate, right? And then later on, some of those rappers will fall off, and then they will insert some new rappers, right? Okay, so let me see. I got my list right here. I'm making a list as I'm typing at the same time, multitasking here. I got 5 so far. I got Jay-Z, Cardi B, Nicki Minaj, Drake, Kendrick, J. Cole. I'm even going to put Doja Cat up in here. She's kind of a rapper somewhat, and she's famous. Doja Cat, basically everybody that headlined Coachella. You know, there's a lot. I'm trying to think of the ones that were like around in the last 10 years, not just the ones that are around now. I'm trying to think like Cardi B, Nicki Minaj, Jay-Z, Drake, Kendrick, J. Cole, Doja Cat. They were all around, you know what I'm saying, in this time. They were all around. There's somebody else. There's a few other rappers. I mean, let's just look up. Let's just see if it comes up. Mainstream rappers. I mean, you know, we could go all over the place with this, but let's just see. I mean, but I'm looking for the ones that are current right now, mostly. Oh yeah. I don't know. Post Malone. Yeah, let's just say Post Malone. Post Malone. I was gonna say Nas. Nas is my favorite rapper. He's definitely hit and miss. How could I forget Lil Wayne? How many is that? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Okay. And Eminem. All right, there's our 10. So I got Jay-Z, Cardi B, Nicki Minaj, Drake, Kendrick, J. Cole. I don't know if Doja Cat and Post Malone really belong there, but we'll just go ahead and leave them for now, for demonstration purposes. Lil Wayne and Eminem. So this is my point. We have 10 rappers that these are the ones that are doing the big tours. These are the ones that are doing the big sellout shows. Oh yeah, and Kanye West, who just won't go away, right? But I'm you know, hey, I knew about Kanye before he became famous too. So I always respect Kanye for that. But yeah, Kanye's now kind of like gone a little overboard, I will admit. So Jay-Z, Cardi B, Nicki, Drake, Kendrick, J. Cole, Doja Cat, Post Malone, Lil Wayne, Eminem, Kanye. That's a good number that we have. Now, if you even look back before, we had, now this is the weird thing though, Tupac and Biggie never won a Grammy. So that's a whole nother discussion that we'll have to come back to later. But for the most part, these 10 rappers have always been in, you know, in that circulation, right? And this is my point. We know that there's a lot more than just these 10 rappers: Jay-Z, Cardi B, Nicki, Drake, Kendrick, J. Cole, Doja Cat, Post Malone, Lil Wayne, Eminem, and Kanye. All right, we know that there's way more. Look at this, man. I'm actually making a video. I'm actually getting an idea to create a video while I'm making a video. Interesting. Let me save this real quick. It's like I'm actually working while I'm working. Okay, top rappers, mainstream rappers, not really top rappers. That's my point. We know, especially all over the world, that there's a lot more rappers. There's a lot more rappers than just these 10 that they keep putting in circulation. Like, remember when 50 Cent was really big? And then you also had what, like The Game, and then you had Eminem and The Game and all them at the top of their whatever you want to call it, league. Like, what happened to The Game, man? What happened to The Game? I'll tell you what happened to The Game. Somewhat of the biggest fall off of the century. Like, one of the biggest fall offs of all time, dude. Like, The Game kind of shows you what not to do in hip hop. If you really studied his game, you'll know that his game was not the game to do. Okay? I mean, I appreciate The Game because I've met him before and he was actually cool. I met him a couple times. He's actually a humble dude. So I respect The Game for that. But I'm talking about his business moves, his business tactics and his business moves, which is terrible, man. Just like how he was beefing with 50 Cent and doing all that stuff. It's just like, yo, man, he should have just remained cool. He had that hot track, hate it or love it. He should have just rode that wave, which is what he's still doing now. And that was it, man. Like, when you started talking your shit about 50 Cent for whatever reason it was, but you forget that Dre put you on and Dre told you to go work with 50. And for whatever reason, maybe you guys just didn't get along great. I get it. Y'all was young at the time. So, you know, everybody want to be hard. That goes back to my point. Everybody want to be hard. You know what I'm saying? He should have just shut up, got in the booth, took advantage of the opportunity, wrote his raps, shut the fuck up, write your raps. That's it, man. Shut up and write your raps. But he didn't do that. He wanted to go out there and talk shit, talk on the radio, talk all this, talk all that. And then look what happened to him. Eminem, at the end of the day, who Dre, I guess, said is his best protege other than Snoop. Basically what happened, man. Eminem took 50 cents back over Game because you know why? Because M didn't sign the Game. M signed 50. Dre signed the Game and tried to bring Game into that whole aftermath situation. You know what I'm saying? But the Game, he didn't fit in. So what happened? What happened to the Game automatically or ironically? What happened to him? He didn't get to perform at the Super Bowl. You didn't get to perform at the Super Bowl, Game, because you was talking so much shit. See, if you would have kept your mouth shut and not did all that talking, you might have got a chance to perform at the Super Bowl. The only other way that Game is going to ever perform at the Super Bowl is if Drake gets announced and Drake brings the Game up. Because I think the Game is one of the few rappers that's had Drake's back since then. And why? Which is weird because Kendrick and the Game are both from Compton. But you know what I think it is? I think it's because Kendrick never really looked out for the Game. You know, just because they from Compton don't mean they got to get along with each other. You know, that's what y'all forget, man. Because when Kendrick did the pop-up, a lot of people were kind of questioning, why isn't the Game there? So, to my point of that, is that Game was in this circumference of these top 10 rappers. Game got inserted. He got signed by Interscope Universal. He was inserted into the mix. And he burnt his own bridge down. Like I said, take note of it. Now, if we also look at these rappers, we could just look at these rappers right here that are on the screen. And if you look at these rappers that are right here on the screen, all of these rappers are signed to a major label. Coincidence? I think not. Because that is my point. And I'm really trying to find the words to convey because this idea is so, like, deep embedded into my mind, but I'm just trying to find the right words to explain it. We know that there's a lot more rappers than what we see right here on the screen. We know there's a lot more rappers out there. Yes, I do believe for the most part that hip-hop is an American sport. You know, because I know we can say, oh, we got rappers in Brazil. We got rappers in the UK. You know, you got rappers all over the world. But it's like, come on, okay. Some of them might be putting out some dope shit. I mean, I do like some UK rappers. Some. Not the new Central C guys and all that. What was it? Sizzling sausages, sizzling in a saucepan. No, I don't like that shit. That shit is stupid to me. But I like some of the other stuff like Prodigy and then kind of, the UK ones. I mean, of course, also from Mobb Deep, but also, Power. But also, there was a group called Prodigy from the UK that I really like, and a few others. I think Massive Attack and who were some of the others, man, that y'all probably don't even know. But Sneaker Pimps were dope. Yo, go check out Sneaker Pimps, man. So that's what I'm saying. There's some good stuff out there. But let's just go ahead and just say for these rappers right here, do you see how some of them were in the mix and then they fell out and then they came back? Like you got Nelly right here. Remember Nelly was like at the top of the circle and he was out there at the same time that Jay-Z and Eminem and all them were rocking, right? Weren't Eminem. Wasn't Eminem and Nelly like both competing for like the #1 album on the Billboard charts at one point? But I think Nelly took it over. It's so funny that Nelly is on this list too. Well, I guess he is under mainstream rappers. I didn't say the best rappers. I mean, we already know that Google gets it wrong, but let me just see this real quick. I know I'm like doing my research with you guys. I should have already had this ready, but please forgive me. Give me a second. Best rappers of all time. I want to just see what Google has to say about this. Jay-Z at #1. Kendrick at #2. So Kendrick definitely bumped up after the Super Bowl. Eminem at #3. Don't know about that one. Nas, Pac, Snoop, Biggie, Rakim. Definitely glad to see Rakim is up there. Lauryn Hill, Andre 3000. Definitely. Drake, MC Lyte. Okay, not mad at this. Except for Future. Future should not be on this list. Future should be nowhere on this list. Not even in the top 50. Not even in the top 50. I mean, I don't know. If you guys are considering like the pioneer of rumble rap, mumble rap, rumble, whatever the hell you call it, then yes, I guess. Can you guys believe that if this is the order, if it's going from left to right, can you believe that Future is above Redman? That is a serious red flag right here. Like Future's over here, or my camera's over here on this angle, I guess. Future's over here in the top right there. It's like it's reverse on the camera. Top right corner. He's above Q-Tip, Scarface, oh my God, KRS-One, Lupe Fiasco, Redman, and even Jadakiss and Talib Kweli. You have got to be kidding me. But like I said, this is Google. Google's just finding, I guess, what the algorithm is saying. Thankfully, they did not put Future above Black Thought. Thank you. Oh my God. If Future was above Black Thought, I would have to just turn this off right now. I would have to turn this off immediately. Like, this is an interesting list. So I guess this is maybe pulling off of what people are searching, because it's like, where does it get this information from? I mean, it just says from sources across the web. So I guess it's combing through the internet saying that according to what everybody is saying, these are all the best rappers of all time. Now, some of it could be true. But I'll tell you guys this. I'm willing to bet that most of these rappers on this list, I'm willing to bet 80% of them are all signed under the Universal umbrella. I'm willing to bet. If we looked up all of them, I mean, I can already tell you right now, the first 3 are all on Universal. Next row, Nas was on Sony. Tupac, Universal. Snoop Dogg, Universal. Biggie, Universal. Rakim, I have to go back and look up Rakim. Let's look it up. Paid in Full. I mean, that's such an old album. That was a different time. You know what I mean? That was a different time. Let's see. Wikipedia. This is one of the best hip-hop albums of all time. If you guys ask me, what are your top 10 hip-hop albums of all time, this album will be in my top 10. Paid in Full, one of the greatest hip hop albums that ever came out. And this album came out in 1987. Okay? And I still feel that it's still better than a lot of albums that came out today. Label, here we go. Fourth and Broadway. Look at that though. Island. You know who Island is? Island is Universal. So that's my point, man, is that all of these rappers are on a major label. So in order to get the exposure that they got to be considered and to be one of the greatest rappers of all time in the first place, they had to be signed to a major label first. You see what I'm saying? That's the point that I'm trying to make here. Now, is Andre 3000 one of the greatest rappers of all time? Yes. Is Nas one of the greatest rappers of all time? Yes. Is Jay-Z? Yes. Is Kendrick? Yes. Is Eminem? Maybe. Definitely a great rapper. One of the best of all time. In my opinion, Eminem's first 3 albums, great. After that, I feel like he tarnished his legacy a little bit when he started doing songs with Rihanna. What was the song? I Can Make You Cry or Don't Cry or whatever the hell that song was. You know what I'm saying? You know what song I'm talking about. The song with Rihanna. I was like, oh man, you're hurting your legacy now, man. You're just hurt. Now you're just doing too much mainstream shit now. I feel like Eminem kind of fell off a little bit when he started doing that. But Eminem, respect, homie. Yo, my fam is from Detroit. So mad respect to you, Em. You know, I'm actually heading up to Detroit probably later this year. So it's like, yeah, you know what I'm saying? Or very soon. So I got to say, man, like much love to the D. I got respect for Michigan. You know, I knew of Eminem before he became famous. So it's like, yeah, man. But I got to say, man, I feel like he kind of tarnished his legacy a little bit when he started dropping all them mainstream, you know, all that shit, like the song where he's flying, with the video where he's flying through the air like he's Superman, and the you know, I don't even remember all those songs, man, but it's just like, come on, man, come on. I just thought that shit was kind of corny and trash in a way. I mean, yeah, is he rhyming? Yeah, Eminem can rap. Yes, he can rap, man. Just because you can rap doesn't mean that you need to rap on beats like that or make songs like that. Not to mention that he's the only rapper, a white rapper at that has a movie about trying to become a rapper, where all these other rappers are making movies where they're drug dealers or killers or pimps and all this stuff, you know. But Eminem is the only one that makes a movie where it's like, oh, I'm this rapper and I'm trying to freestyle at this battle, and you know, he's on the bus and he's writing on his hand because he can't afford a piece of paper, so he's writing his lyrics on his hand. Oh my God, man. It's like, come on, man. Of course you're going to do that with Eminem. That was a movie that Nas should have done. Nas should have did that movie. But would it have been as big if Eminem didn't do it? Probably not. It would have just been like one of those little independent, low-key, cult classic movies, you know, kind of like Beat Street or Crush Groove or one of those types of movies. But when Eminem did it, it's like, oh, it's winning Oscars and all that shit. You know what I'm saying? Which is good, man. I mean, he deserved it. It's a good movie. But why is it a white rapper that's playing that role is my question. So that's why I kind of feel like Eminem, you know, I guess it's blasphemy, however you say the word, to call him a little overrated. Little overrated. Lil Wayne, definitely overrated, as we covered before. Lil Wayne is above all these other rappers. Ice Cube, Mos Def, Common, Black Thought, Method Man, Q-Tip from A Tribe Called Quest. Not to mention that Future is also above Q-Tip. The blasphemy in this list. I guess Lupe Fiasco should be happy that he's just even on the list. Same thing with Pusha T. Yeah. All these rappers are signed to mainstream labels. And my point is that I can guarantee you that there's a lot of great independent rappers out there who are not on mainstream record companies who are much better than a lot of MCs on this list. I mean, some of these MCs, some of these rappers are definitely valid. I'm not going to say that they're not valid, but I can guarantee you that we can go look up some independent rappers. Like, for instance, let me think of one that are millionaires too. Like, let me give you guys an example. Have any of you guys heard of a rapper by the name of MF Doom? Have y'all ever heard of this rapper? He's pretty good. I like his music. You know what I'm saying? What he was doing. I mean, I would consider him one of the greatest rappers of all time. I would consider him one of the greatest rappers of all time. I'm glad I'm doing this video because I'm going to come back and watch this video myself for research purposes. And thank you to who gave the likes and left the comments. Work hard. I appreciate you. Thank you, man, because you made me think about some things too. But yeah, MF Doom is one of the best rappers of all time. I think anybody that knows hip hop agrees, right? Why is MF Doom not on this list? He should be on this list. And not only should he be on this list, but he made money off of raps. I mean, I think he became like a millionaire, if not close to it. So if you want to say, oh, well, he just wasn't making money. He wasn't selling. No, he was selling records. Doom was selling records. You know what I'm saying? Let's think of another. Let's pull up another one, man. Evidence. Evidence is another rapper who's pretty dope. Is he one of the greatest rappers of all time? I mean, I don't know. Maybe, maybe not. But you definitely got to say that Dilated Peoples is definitely one of the greatest hip hop groups of all time. I mean, come on, let's not be real. Evidence produced Last Call on Kanye West's College Dropout. And not only that, but then Dilated Peoples is one of the groups that helped bring Kanye West into the mainstream because Dilated had the track with Alchemist. Oh yeah, not to mention that Dilated Peoples also helped Alchemist become a mainstream producer. All of Alchemist's early work was with Dilated Peoples and Evidence. And I know some of y'all don't know hip hop, so let me pull up Dilated Peoples. Dilated Peoples is one of the groups that were signed to Capitol Records, one of the very few underground hip-hop groups that were signed to Capitol Records. They had the popular track, "Well, worst comes to worst, my peoples come first." That was produced by The Alchemist, which is kind of the beat that put Alchemist into the mainstream, other than, of course, We Gon' Make It with Jadakiss, even though that beat was originally for Razkaz. I know some of you in the comments are going to say that. But Dilated Peoples, man, was like one of the groups. And shout out Rocka, man, my peoples, man. Rocka's my peoples. And Babu. But it's like, yo, Dilated Peoples is like one of the groups that was responsible for making Kanye West famous. For those of you that don't know. Interesting that none of the rappers from Dilated Peoples are on the list of the best rappers of all time. And I think the only rapper from the Wu that's on this list is Method Man, and Ghostface. I think I saw Ghostface. Yeah, Ghostface right here. He's a little higher than Method Man, which is interesting. I like them both. I met Ghost. Ghost is cool as hell, man. But I think Method Man, in my preference, I think Method Man's a little bit better. But I mean, everybody from the Wu, man, you could pick really any Wu member. You know, I'll tell you a Wu member that's missing from this list is Raekwon. And come on, you know who the most underrated Wu-Tang member is, in my personal opinion? Inspector Deck. That's the most underrated Wu-Tang member, Inspector Deck. Yeah. When I brought up Doom, when I bring up Evidence, there's a few others I could think of, or even Rocka too from Dilated. But there's a few other rappers. Let's just look up underground rappers. Let's see if something comes up. Okay, Blue's up here. That's cool. I mean, he stole some of my beats when I was talking about shit, so I got to talk to Blue about that. Danny Brown, yeah, definitely. Okay, so you got Doom. Big L, I think he should be in greatest rappers of all time. Thank you for reminding me. Big L needs to be on this list. He should not be in the underground rappers list. He should be on this list. You should not have Future and Gucci Man and T.I. over a rapper like Big L. You see what I'm saying? Even AI doesn't even understand hip hop. That's the point that I'm trying to make to y'all. See, some of these that are on the underground are still on the greatest of all time. Black Thought, Mos Def, Tech Nine, Action Bronson, Cool Keith. Cool Keith should be on greatest of all time. Skizzo, I definitely like Skizzo. I don't know if he could be greatest of all time, but Skizzo. What do y'all think about Nipsey? I haven't even seen Nipsey's name anywhere, which is kind of weird. He should definitely be an underground. Talib Kweli is on the underground list, and he's also on best rappers list, right? Yeah, he is. Okay, good. But he's way at the bottom. Yeah. I mean, it's kind of accurate. I think the only one that they're definitely missing, that now that I've compared the two, the ones that they're missing is Big L, Doom, for sure. Those two should be on the best rappers of all time. And that just goes back to the point, man, of knowing the culture of hip-hop and understanding hip-hop in its essence, hip-hop in its purest form, understanding hip-hop culture. And a lot of these cats just don't understand hip-hop culture, but they want to speak on the culture. And like I said, man, I could dive deeper into this, but let's see. We've been on for like almost an hour and a half, or over an hour and a half, actually. Yeah, man, that's how we started this whole ramble, this whole rant, discussion, whatever you want to call it, was Drake. To wrap it up, like I said, man, this is what you need to do, man. You need to go on hiatus. You need to fall back, soldier. Fall back at ease. Okay? Go take a break. Go take a vacation somewhere. Go take your private jet with some women to one of your beautiful islands. Now, as a matter of fact, wait, don't do that. But maybe just go to a different country for a while. Well, you already went to Australia, but don't announce your tour. Don't go to Australia to announce a tour or some other country. I'm going to Korea now to do a tour. You know, don't announce another world tour in a different country. Just go chill in a different country for a while. Get away, write some songs, listen to some beats, meditate, and plan your next strategy. That's what I would say if I was in Drake's OV-ho camp. You know what I'm saying? Which I would not be. But you know what I'm saying? It's like he got to have somebody around him that's got to just tell him, hey, man. And maybe he does, and maybe he just doesn't want to listen. I don't know. But I can definitely tell you, and I've heard other people say this, that the moves that he is making is they're not well calculated. And didn't Kendrick say this? Didn't he say this in Euphoria? Kendrick said this in Euphoria, right? He said, I calculate your next move is not as calculated. Yeah, man, he's right. And this was Euphoria. This was like the first battle song. Like, I already calculate, you're not calculated. You made me think of one thing, though. Work hard if you're still on here with us. What if, to go down a rabbit hole, and I just want to put this idea out there because it just hit my mind again, and I thought about it before, but I never really spoke on it, was what if Drake and Kendrick and the whole battle was just fabricated? What if it was just like a whole plot designed by the Illuminati to distract people? I mean, I don't know. I mean, I have met Kendrick, and I kind of do get the feeling that he really does not like Drake. But then again, it's also like, man, there's a lot of money involved in this. There's a lot of money and a lot of power involved in this. And it really makes me wonder, what if this could all be just a big distraction and that they knew it was going to play out like this, and they just did it like this. And then now Kendrick got really big and then got to go do the Super Bowl and all this. And it just seems like everything that just happened right after everything is just, But then again, yeah, who would take that type of abuse though, right? Like Drake couldn't just take that type of abuse and be okay with it. But then you never know, man. What if they was like, yo, we'll give you $500 million. You know what I'm saying? If you could just go away. Look, you did some stupid shit. We know what you did. We know you're a PDF. We know you probably you put hits on people. We know you did all these things. So here, we're going to have Kendrick come in and destroy you in a battle, and we're going to give you, $500 million to just, go out like this. I don't know, man. I don't know. I know. Conspiracy theory, crazy idea. It was just an idea that popped in my head one time when I was just thinking like, damn, what if, man? What if? Because it just seems to me, the reason why I question that is because Drake just made so many dumb moves. It's almost like, how could you be so dumb? How could you be so dumb? You know what I'm saying? And then on top of that, did you go and you try to file a lawsuit against your boss, against your label? It doesn't make sense, man. It doesn't make sense to think that there's not somebody around to tell him, hey, man, I don't think that's a good idea. I don't think it's a good idea. Like I said, man, it could be either those two things. Either that's one of them, or the other thing is that maybe Drake's ego just got too inflated and he just wasn't thinking clearly. That's the only other obvious option. But it's got to be one of those two things. The reason what made me think about that was your comment, Work Hard, where you said the Illuminati is at war with each other and it's power versus power, which, again, I couldn't agree more, especially with what we saw go on in this previous election. That was definitely a representation of power against power, power versus power. Like, we are not on the same side. Even though that we call this the United States of America, we are not united and we are not on the same side. And different states, we all think differently. As a matter of fact, we might need to change America into like the European Union, where this is just a union. We are not the same country. California is not the same as New York. New York is not the same as Florida, and Florida is not the same as Texas, and Texas is not the same as Georgia. These are all different countries in a way. And did you know that the state of California has more people in it than some countries in Africa? That should make you think. This is really a country in its own. You know what I'm saying? All of these states are countries in their own. Georgia is really a country in its own. New York is definitely a country, its own country. You know what I'm saying? New York feels like you're in Europe. If you've been to Europe before, New York feels exactly like Europe. Or shall I say, yeah, exactly. Yeah, New York feels exactly like Europe. So that's my point, man. These are all different countries, man. Even though we try to pretend that they're all states, but they're really different countries. And yes, and I believe that comment that you said made me think about that, where, yeah, man, it could be just power versus power. The Illuminati is at war with each other. Maybe Drake was doing some things in his contract that Universal didn't like, or doing some things that were against the contract that they didn't like. And they probably thought, okay, you've been the prince long enough. Now it's time to shut you down. I mean, come on, man. We all saw the Grammys, or maybe we didn't, but we saw the highlights. I'm sure those of us that follow the music industry, we all saw the highlights where Lucian Grange was like giving high five to Dr. Dre. All Universal executives. Dr. Dre is a Universal executive too. All the Universal executives were high-fiving each other when Kendrick was winning the Grammys. What does that tell you, man? All screaming, A minor, when all of y'all in there are doing the same thing. All of y'all are up in there abusing people, using your power to manipulate people, to control people, and doing all the same thing. And also, furthermore, doing your best to shadow ban and hide other rappers and other people that you know that are probably just as creative, if not more creative, and way more talented, and don't lip sync, and can actually put on a really good show without having about 500 dancers behind them and having your mind and your eyes look all over the place. You know what I'm saying? They just want to put these rappers in front of your face. They, you know, and like I said, Doechii, she's the new one. She's the new rapper. She's the new Tyler, the Creator. You know? Remember when Tyler, the Creator, and Frank Ocean and all that, and they're like, yeah, abstract. You know, this is different. This is something different. Yeah, check this out. And they put them all in front of us, right? And then what happened? Then Frank Ocean came out the closet and told you that he was bisexual. Oh. Then Tyler, the Creator, came out and then he said he's bisexual. Oh. He said he was dating Will Smith's son, Jaden Smith. Oh, you know, okay. And this is hip hop now. This is okay. We are now accepting gay rappers. Remember when hip hop first came out? For those of us that understand hip hop culture and really know hip hop, we said and I'm not homophobic. I have to always do the disclaimer. I'm not homophobic. But hip hop is not a gay sport. It's not a gay sport. It's definitely was built on alpha male energy. It was built on alpha male masculine energy. If a woman wants to come and rap like Salt and Pepper, Queen Latifah, MC Light, that's cool. Y'all can rap. But just understand that this is a male sport. It was created as a male sport, and it is an alpha male sport. Y'all can push the WNBA as much as you want. But let's not forget, we also have the NBA. And I don't think that you can compare any female basketball players to Michael Jordan. Now, I know some of you just are not going to agree with that statement, but hey, it's true and it's factual. I'm not trying to offend anybody, man. I'm just speaking facts. Okay? That's what I'm doing here, man. I'm just trying to speak facts, man. I'm not trying to offend anybody. But I'm saying that when hip-hop first came out, when we go back to like the albums that I'm talking about, in the early 80s, you know what I'm saying? It was a male-predominant sport. And not only that, but the female rappers that were out at that time, they were all talking about, like, they were bigging us up, like Yo-Yo and all them. I remember those songs like Got Me a Down Girl by My Team, you know, all that stuff. Like they were like the songs she did with Ice Cube, they were bigging us up. They weren't talking shit about us. They weren't saying, oh, you know, F my baby daddy, and he got to give me some money, he got to pay this, he got to pay child support, and F him, he gonna pay me child support, I'm gonna go find a new daddy for my son or my daughter. It's just like, come on, man. The female rappers weren't really rapping like that back then. I don't even think Lil' Kim was rapping like that back then. Because wasn't Lil' Kim on Junior Mafia with Biggie? I mean, as a matter of fact, I think Biggie used to write Lil' Kim's rhymes. And also, is Lil' Kim on this list? I didn't see her. I don't even think Lil' Kim is on this list. Now we know it's a conspiracy. So that's what I'm saying, man. Like, female rappers back in those days, Foxy Brown, Lil' Kim, they weren't writing rap songs like that. They were actually down with us. Now, we know that, like you said, how Work Hard had said in the comments, the Illuminati came in and basically infiltrated hip-hop and used these women to manipulate other women and start making songs about pay the bills, as I said in the other video, and all this and that. We already know, right? Gold diggers and all this. Manipulate the minds of the women, manipulate the minds of the men, have the men simp, have the men spend money, have the women degrade us, have the women talk shit about us now. So now we had the men talking shit about the women, calling them hoes and all this and that. Now we have the women talking shit about the men, talking them fuck boys and all this and that. So now we're just going back and forth at each other while the Universal music execs sit back and they make money off of this. You know what I'm saying? They just sit back and laugh and give each other high fives at the Grammys while one rapper is being the next throne and another rapper is being dethroned while he's also being called a PDF at the same time. So this is how the industry is operating now, which is like clearly obvious. It's clearly obvious, man, if you just look around and pay attention. You know what I'm saying? And now we've reached a point where they're letting these other rappers in on these mainstream levels, which brings me back to like a Tyler, the Creator, or a Frank Ocean. And it's like, oh, now all of a sudden they're making rappers gay. Like, yeah, push the gay agenda. And if you don't believe me, well, that brings me to my point of look at Doechii, the new up-and-coming rapper, female rapper that is too, on the scene. Did you guys see the interview that she just did? Let's pull it up. She could probably say it better than me. Where basically she went on to say, hold on, let me pull it up. She went on to basically say that if she's dating somebody, that it's a red flag if the guy is straight. So now here we are. We already had male rappers that are wearing purses and wearing dresses and nail polish. You know, like that Lil Yachty guy. Oh, my God. I couldn't believe that, man. I couldn't even believe that that rapper even did half the things that he did. I cannot believe it, man. Like, who allowed that? Oh, well, we know who allowed him. We know who allowed it. But let me tell you something, man. A rapper like Lil Naughty or Lil Yachty or Lil Nigga, whatever his name was, who is wearing nail polish with red braids, would never have been successful in the 90s. Never. Not even somewhat. Yeah, so she says it's a red flag if a man is straight. So here we are. Another rapper who has just been inducted into the mainstream. You know, like I said, and they just keep switching it. They keep switching it. You know what I'm saying? Where it's like, okay, you have all the 10 rappers, some fall off, and then they just insert a few more. Like Game. Remember I said about the Game analogy? The rapper Game? He was one of those top 10 rappers. He put out the documentary. He was in rotation. He was in the circumference of the universe of being promoted as a mainstream rapper, and then he burnt his own bridge. So what happened once he burnt his own bridge? He was deducted. Like Samuel L. Jackson said in the Super Bowl, scorekeeper, deduct one. You know what I'm saying? He was deducted, and then a new one was inserted. Who was it? I forgot. But we could just say Lupe Fiasco, somebody like that, whatever. You know, even though I think they were around the same time. But you know what I'm saying? You get my point, right? What they got the same 10 that they're just promoting. These are the ones that are getting the Grammys, the Billboard Awards, the Billboard charts. They're on the radio. The radio just keeps playing it over and over again. Yo, I swear, I was driving in my car, listening to the radio the other day. And even though I'm a Kendrick Lamar fan, I swear they played Not Like Us probably about 10 times on the radio in just a matter of an hour or two. I even said to myself, okay, I think the song might be a little played out now. I think the song might be a little played out. But yeah, that's my point. The 10 rappers that are in that circumference are just being pushed on the radio, pushed on what used to be MTV, but now pushed all over the internet on major media outlets, pushed through the YouTube algorithm because it keeps your attention. Whatever keeps your attention gets pushed. But then also, what they also want to have you keep your attention gets pushed. I've heard other people say that Doechii or whatever, and maybe Doja Cat. I think Doja Cat really did work for it because there's a lot of videos of her on YouTube before she was famous. Same thing with Doechii, but I think Doechii is being pushed a little excessively. I don't think that she's really there yet. to what they're trying to make. Like, they're trying to act like she's Lauryn Hill already. It's like, no. Her last album was not a miseducation. Stop it. Stop. Okay? But now she's come out to say this. And again, this is something that I think we would never hear Lauryn Hill say, Salt and Pepper, or Queen Latifah, even though Queen Latifah is a lesbian. We would never hear Queen Latifah say this. So that's my point. All of a sudden, you win a Grammy, and now you say that it's a red flag if a man is straight?
Okay. What's my biggest dating red flag?
Is it being on the DL?
You're on the right track. I have my answer.
Is it close enough?
You want to guess one more time what would be a red flag for me?
Bad music taste?
Oh, that is a good one.
Because that's one for me.
That is a good one.
Like,
But that's
what
not
do you
what
mean
I put.
you don't listen to Michael Jackson? But okay.
Okay. This is a huge red flag for me.
All right. You know what's so crazy? I was going to say men.
I'm gonna say no. Like, I mean, strike one. You're a man.
Yeah.
And you're heterosexual.
Yeah. I was going to say, so technically, because my mind was already there, I don't think I deserve to eat a wing.
I think you do, friend.
They're destroying the culture. You see, it's videos like this that are destroying the culture. And then we're going to try to pretend that this is cool for her to say, oh, well, you know what? She has a lot of influence now because the industry is obviously pushing her, and she gets to go on and say she don't like straight men, or a man has to be, I guess, bisexual in order to turn her on. So now she's going to probably influence a bunch of other young women out there who are going to start thinking, oh, well, I like Doechie's music. And since Doechii thinks that it's bad to date a man who's just straight, well, I'm going to date, they're probably thinking that. And this is the point. I know some of y'all are going to say, people can think for themselves. No, actually, you'd be surprised. A lot of people cannot think for themselves. A lot of people out there are dumb and easily manipulated. If you don't believe me, go back 5 years ago or so to when we had the certain words I guess you can't say. Pandemic. Yeah, go back to that, man. And look at how many people were manipulated by that. You know how I know? Because I actually left the country during that time. And I could tell the difference between America and other countries. Okay, so people are easily manipulated, easily influenced, especially if it's being pushed by a mainstream outlet. So now she's going to have a bunch of other young girls probably thinking, oh, well, you can't be a straight man. You know what I'm saying? And then what do men do? Men want to talk to girls. So if girls want a man to be a certain way, well, then some men, especially the beta males, are going to conform to that. That's just what happens. Just like how we had the era of gangsters and gangster rap, which we still kind of do, but it's like a different form of gangster rap now because I ain't never seen no gangsters carry purses before. But now it's like we have a new form of gangster. You know what I'm saying? But back then it was like cool, like I said in another video. Back then it was cool to be a thug. It was cool to be like Tupac and be a thug and fuck this, fuck that, and all that stuff. You know what I'm saying? And the women were attracted to that because that's what was being pushed on the mainstream. But then what happened? Then later on, early 2000s, like I said, 50 Cent, he was the end of all that. Then that's when we started having the Drakes come in. There might have been some other rappers before that. I think that's like Soulja Boy's time and a few other rappers that I would probably have to go back and research. I kind of felt like the 2000s and after especially 2005 and those types of years, I just kind of felt like that was just when hip hop just started just becoming like fast food. You know, it's like you go to a restaurant that's really good and the burgers taste like really good or whatever, or the tacos or the food is like really authentic when it's just a mom and pop shop and you're like, man, and the portions are good, the prices are good, everything's just like perfect. Like you're like, man, I'm gonna eat here all the time. Like this place, boom, that's the place I want to go to. And then they got a corporate deal, and then they started expanding, and then they started building chain restaurants. And then you go to the chain restaurants, and then you start realizing that the prices are starting to go up now, and that the food doesn't taste quite the same. And then you know what you also notice? You also notice that the portions got smaller. So it's also, the food is not as good, the portions are smaller, and it's also more expensive. That's the way I feel about hip hop after like the year 2000, 2005. That's the way I feel. Definitely 2010. I mean, I think Kendrick came out around that time, and Drake. They were like the last of it, yo. That's the reason why we have Kendrick and Drake where they are right now. The reason why we have Kendrick and Drake where they are right now is because Kendrick and Drake were probably the last generation that understood hip-hop culture that's still relevant today. I really do feel that most of the rappers that are coming out right now have no idea what the heck is hip-hop culture. I bet you $20, we could go up to some of these mainstream rappers right now, like Glorilla, Sexy Red, Ice Spice. I know I should think of some men too, but their music is just so trash. But, you know, maybe even like, you know, who are these new rappers out here? I mean, I don't know. I don't really care. I do listen to them for research purposes, but do I like bump their music? Not really. Maybe some. But I guarantee you, man, we could probably go up to some of these new school rappers and ask them, hey, yo, you ever heard of Dilla? They'll probably be like, who's that? Listen, if you don't know who Dilla is, then you're not real hip hop. Automatically. KRS-One, maybe they heard of KRS. Maybe. Rakim, I bet you this. We go up to him and we'll say, hey, you ever heard of Black Moon? They're going to be like, who's Black Moon? I guarantee you, a lot of them never heard of Black Moon. And just in case if y'all never heard of Black Moon, let me pull up Black Moon. Yeah, Buckshot should be on this list too. This is a funny list, man. This is a really funny list. I'm going to pull up Black Moon. Shout out Buckshot, man. Now, I know y'all heard of Wu-Tang. They're going to say, oh, yeah, I heard of Wu-Tang. Because why? Because Wu-Tang has a TV show? Look, Black Moon doesn't even come up. The rappers doesn't even come. The group doesn't even come up. It's the actual Black Moon comes up on Google first. This is one of the greatest hip-hop albums of all time as well. I want to show you the picture, though, because, you know, let's just look up. Black Moon Enter the Stage is the name of the album. Because it's good if you guys see the album cover. I remember, and I'm glad I'm doing this video because I think I've already dropped like a few bombs, you know, jewels, whatever you call them, on this. Enter the Stage, one of the greatest hip-hop albums of all time. I told you that Rakim, Eric B. and Rakim, Paid in Full, would go in my top 10 hip-hop albums of all time. This will also be in my top 10. Do I have the exact order yet? No, I do not. But I'm glad that we're going through these. And let me make a list of this because I do want to do like a top 10 greatest rap albums of all time. Because I do believe that a lot of people need education. That's the reason for doing these videos. Enter the Stage, one of the most influential albums. This album came out in 93, probably one of the best years of hip hop, one of the best years in hip hop. And when I say one of the best years in hip hop, I mean like all of the albums that came out that year were fire. It wasn't like, oh yeah, this album came out and it was dope, but all the other albums that came out were whack. Like what goes on now. It's like you got albums that drop now and it's like maybe one or two songs. And then you also have other albums that come out that are just trash. Just like, oh, did you check out that album? Oh, that album was trash. Did you check out that album? That album was trash. Did you check out that album? Oh, that album was all right. Back in these years, 93, 94, 95, 96, and I think around 97 was kind of when it stopped. But yeah, man, from like 93 to 97, pretty much every album that was dropping was like fire, dude, a banger. You know what I'm saying? I swear, we can go back. You don't believe me? Don't believe me? Hip hop albums that came out, let's just say 97. Let's just say 97. Look at this. These are the albums that came out in 97. Are you kidding me? Are you kidding me? All classics, dude. All classics. That's the difference. That's what I'm trying to say. They're all pretty much classics. All pretty much classics. There's not really one whack album on this list of all the hip hop albums that came out in 1997. I'm telling you, man, 97 was a powerful year in hip hop. And I feel like that was it. I feel like this was it, man. So that goes back to my point, man. For Drake, oh yeah, let me just say this real quick before I go back to Drake. You know how many rappers that this album influenced? Not to mention Wu-Tang, I believe. You know, we can also say Onyx too, that came out with the slam. Da 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 da. Let the boys be boys. I mean, that was Onyx. But you know, Enter the Stage, Onyx, Wu-Tang, they all had like those protect your neck, protect your neck. Buckshot, Into the Stage, Black Moon. Who got the props? Who got the props? Okay, so we see that was kind of like the songs, the anthems that people were making back then, right? But that's my point, man. That do you know how many groups that this group, Black Moon, and this album, Entered the Stage, by the way, no skips, classic albums. I believe it got 5 mics in the source. Do you see that there's no mention of this? There's no mention of this. So it's like, don't try to talk to me about hip hop, y'all. But I want to just say, I mean, I hope you guys understand, man. We went through some real education on this. If you guys can give some likes on this video, that would be really helpful, man. Because, I mean, look, man, I did kind of a deep dive on this, man. I've been going for over 2 hours now. One day I might I might compete with academics, and I might just do an 8-hour stream. But yeah, Drake and Kendrick were the last, I believe, of the generation of hip-hop culture. Keep in mind, I'm saying hip-hop culture, okay? Culture means you understand the culture. You're not just like, oh, yeah, you know, I like this part of it, but I don't like that part of it. No. If you're part of the culture, then you have to at least understand all the elements of the culture. I do believe that Drake and Kendrick are it. That's it, man. And, you know, when did they drop? Like 2008, 2009. So they've been at it for a minute, and they're still consistent and they're still relevant. And to be honest with you, I kind of think that if you came out in 2008 and you're still hot, thank you for the likes that came in, man. I appreciate it. Appreciate it. If you came out in 2008 or 2009 and you're still hot, it's kind of easier to be, because the industry is such trash now. It's such trash. The bar has been set so low that really, excuse me, really anybody could rap about anything. You know what I'm saying? You could rap literally about anything and probably be successful. Who knows? Let's see here. Let me pull up something else before I get up out of here. I'm about to get up out of here, y'all. We've been going for how long? 2 hours? 2 hours? Over 2 hours? Yeah. I appreciate all of y'all that have been listening. I really do. We're going to let this ride for a minute. Hold on. Let me play you one other track real quick before we get up out of here. Ugh. The average bars. Average bars. That was a dope little show, though, right there. Yeah, man. Yeah. I think I pretty much covered everything that needs to be covered. But you know,
Because I don't
I
know
got one
too
other
much
thing I want to say.
That's the only reason, though.
Okay, Eminem or G-Eazy?
Again, don't know too much G-Eazy.
Come on, man. What kind of question is that?
Cardi B or Nicki?
Nicki,
Jay-Z or Nas?
Jay-Z,
Tupac or Biggie?
Biggie and Tupac,
Kevin Hart or Chris Rock?
Chris Rock,
Alcohol or lean?
Lean.
Quality control music or TDE?
I don't know what TDE is.
Kendrick Lamar though.
Oh,
I thought you was literally, see, that's what happens. You see what happens? That's what happens. So quality control music is somebody too.
Yeah, that's Migos in there. Yeah.
sometimes I really think, and this is what I want to close with. Sometimes I think we make the wrong people famous. But, you know, if the industry's telling you this is hot, this is hot, this is what's hot, this is what's dope, this is real hip hop and R&B, then the people that are stupid, that don't do the research, they're just going to be like, oh, this is real hip hop. This is a real rapper right here. But they don't know, man. This ain't hip hop. This is just a rapper. This is a rapper who they're telling you is hip hop. But he's not hip hop. He don't even know who TDE is.
Kendrick Lamar though.
Oh, I thought you was literally, see, that's what happens. You see what happens? That's what happens. So quality control music is somebody too.
Yeah, that's Migos in there. Yeah.
I'm not gonna lie, I damn sure thought we was talking about Floyd Mayweather.
Wow.
That let you know where I'm at.
That lets you know that you're not hip hop. That's what it does. It lets us know that. Lil Wayne, can he rap? Yes, Lil Wayne can rap. You know who else can rap? The kids down the street who hang out at the bus stop, they can rap too. Okay? Just put them in a dope video and give them a good beat. Give them a Metro Boomin beat. And you know, get some big director, Tim Story or one of them directors to direct it. Boom, there you have it. You got a hit. Will it stand the test of time? Who knows? Will it stand the test of time? Who knows, man? That's the only question. But that's what I'm trying to say, man. To go back to the metaphor of what we're talking about here, Drake, what you need to do is you need to go on hiatus. You need to disappear for at least 6 months. I guarantee you that if you disappear for at least 6 months and then you come back with a banging ass album, you know, an album that's like similar to Give Me a Hug, like how you came with Give Me a Hug, you do that on a whole album, I guarantee you that your fan base will probably come back stronger than ever. Stronger than ever. But the mistake that you're making is trying to be in the media too much. You're trying to be in the media too much. You're trying to sue. And then if you're not trying to sue, then you're trying to drop an album. And then if you're not trying to drop an album, then you're trying to go on tour in a different country. You are making too many mistakes, Drizzy Drake. You need to fall back. You need to fall back. You need to go back and you need to rebuild. That's what needs to be done here. Let Kendrick have his moment. You took the L and you lost. Thank you for your comment. Sounds diff. Let's see what you say here. Age range also plays a factor too. If Method Man dropped, it would not be received well by the younger generation. I completely agree. Well, I mean, you already heard about what happened at the Hot 97 Summer Jam, right? When they performed their songs with Redman, and then the whole crowd was just standing there like, duh. You know, who's next? you know what I'm saying? Like the whole generation was just sitting there like they just didn't get it. But then I also was listening to Method Man and Redman. And I watched some of their performance, and I thought, you guys could have chose better songs too. The songs you did were a little dated. They sounded a little dated. Like, I think if Method Man went back and did did songs from his first album, like Decal, METHOD. I mean, I think he always does that one. But, he got a couple other ones on there. I came to bring the pain, fall cold to the brain. I mean, that song, I think, still holds up today. The beat, the lyrics, I think it still holds up today. So, maybe it was also just song placement, song choices. They didn't do the right songs at the show, but I do agree with your point. I do. But yeah, man, with Drake, that's what he needs to do, man. He needs to just, I think, take a break, chill out, man, disappear, make the people miss you. Make the people want you to come back. You know what I mean? Like, damn, we need another Drake album, man. Like, let hip hop suffer. Let Kendrick just do his GNX album all the way out. Okay? It's a good album. I like it better than Mr. Morale. Do I think GNX is like, oh man, this is an amazing album? Nah, not really. If he would have put Not Like Us on that album, I think it would have raised the bar a little bit. But I see why he didn't put Not Like Us on the album. Because he wanted Not Like Us to just be its own thing. And he probably knew that if he put Not Like Us on the album, that now that was going to kind of saturate it a little bit. So I think he just separated Not Like Us from GNX to just be like, look, if you want Not Like Us, go play it off of YouTube or Spotify or whatever. That's just a single. And that's a single and a song and an album in its own self. It doesn't need to be on an album. It already did all the damage that it needed to do alone by itself. So I kind of see why it's not on there. But is GNX like, is it like a Good Kid, Mad City, or even a To Pimp a Butterfly? No, not at all. So let Kendrick run the GNX course. Let him run that. I don't understand what Drake is doing, man. I don't understand it, man. Clearly, this man is not or has not read the 48 Laws of Power, or he's not applying the laws, is what I want to say. I don't know, man. But, yeah, man, I mean, I'd love to know what you guys think. We get a few more likes up in here. I think I'm about to jump up out of here. You know what I'm saying? We've been going for almost 2.5 hours. We've almost turned this into a Joe Rogan podcast by myself, featuring myself. I want to thank some of y'all that hit the comments, work hard, sounds diff. Thank you, man. I appreciate you, fam. You know what I'm saying? You know what? Actually, maybe I'll push for another 8 minutes. Let's clock it in at 2.5 hours. Let's clock it in at 2.5 hours. Might as well. We're trying something here, man. We're trying something here. We're going on a journey here. We're not trying. Trying actually is not the right word to use. We are doing. Like Nike, just do it. And to Drake, that should be your slogan, man. Just do it. I don't understand the sneak disses, man. I don't understand the message that you said right here. I mean, obviously you're speaking in code, but it's just like, I have never been non-confrontational. Yet you were being very confrontational when you were telling Kendrick to drop. But now all of a sudden you are non-confrontational. This is what I'm talking about, man. Soft. They should have never let rappers that were soft get this much power. This is what happens when you get too much power. I don't know who that is. Don't tell me that's that dude Baca that Kendrick's talked about. I cannot begin my day with the confrontation. Please. Well, this is on Drake's post, by the way. Well, if that's the case, then you shouldn't have engaged in a hip-hop battle then, or a rap battle. This I don't understand, man. Drake, what is with the duck lips? Do you like my new glasses? I just got some new glasses. They're really expensive. Nice. Whatever that is. This is the bedroom. For all you ladies out there that want to hang out with me, here is my bedroom. This is what my bedroom looks like. Yeah, Drake should just take a break, man. Just get off of social media. You're famous enough, dude. You're famous enough. You don't have to be in the public eye. You see, I mean, you guys are about to get me going on a whole nother rant, man. But that's my point, man, is that social media has made people feel the need to be in the public eye so much. Like, oh, I mean, I was hanging out with this girl the other day, and she was like showing me her Instagram or TikTok or whatever account, and just showing me all her selfies. Hey, check this one out. What do you think of this one? What do you think of that one? Hey, you see how many likes I have on this one? Oh, you like this one? What do you think of this? Seen this one girl twerking, not really twerking, but just kind of like shaking her hips and her booty, putting her butt all up in the camera. And I'm just thinking, do y'all women really need validation that bad? It's like, Drake, you're up here acting like a female, dude. Like, okay, I see it. A female, she needs the validation. She needs to post a bunch of selfies on Instagram to have a bunch of guys like her pictures and tell her how beautiful she is. Oh, you're so beautiful. Oh, you're so beautiful. Some of them are. You know what I mean? Listen, I tell women all the time that they're beautiful, but the difference is that these are women I know personally. If you know them personally and you think they are beautiful, great, call them beautiful. But if you don't know that woman personally, you don't know anything about that woman. As a matter of fact, you don't even know that woman's name, but you over here simping on an app for validation purposes, because why else would you do it? Okay, I guess I understand, because this must be in female nature. But for a man to do it, for Drake, come on, man. You're acting like a female, bruh. You're acting like a female. You got to stop it, man. You got to stop it, dude. You got to take a break. Stop taking the selfies. Stop posting the stories. And just go away, man. Go away and come back. I'm not saying to go away forever. I'm just saying to go away, plan your strategy, write a new album or not, but just disappear. I guarantee you that if he were to do that, he would come back a lot stronger. Not only would he come back a lot stronger to his fan base, but I believe that it also will be good for him, that he would come back a lot stronger for himself and for his mental. Because we can clearly see that either Drake is being paid off to act this foolish, or he is not in his right mental state. And yeah, man, I think I just about covered that. So, yes, thank you for tuning in to my TED Talks. I think I'm about to get up out of here because, yeah, I got other shit I got to go do. And we've been on here for how long? Has it been 2.5 hours? All right, I'm going to hit my goal for 2.5 hours. Can we get a few more likes up in here? Can we get a few more likes, please? Let's try to get it to like 5 more likes. You know what I'm saying? 5 more likes would be great. Usually, when we get it up to a certain level, then after the video post on YouTube on its own, it usually does wonders after that. So sometimes I just leave them up. Maybe I might make this a members only. Make sure you guys also join the membership too, because I'm going to start doing more exclusive streams like this, maybe just for members. I want to get like 10 in there first. I just started the membership a little while ago, but I think we got about 3 or 4 members. So shout out to all y'all members, man, you know? And, you know, as a matter of fact, I know I should start doing that on the live streams. So I'll start doing that more often. But yes, shout out Green Goliath. Shout out, I can't say your name because one of them is in Mandarin. And shout out Nicholas Johnson. And shout out Tommy Z. So these are the paying members that we have so far on our YouTube channel. I was also thinking about starting a Patreon, but anything helps. You know what I'm saying? If you guys even contribute just $1, you don't even have to join the membership. You can also just contribute to the Cashapp or the PayPal. You know, even $1, like, hey, man, I appreciate what you do. Here's for your support, whatever. You know, it helps us buy more equipment, helps me invest in some new stuff. You know what I'm saying? So, you know, we need new microphones. We need new cameras. We need all that, man. So all of that helps, dog. You know what I'm saying? So please contribute. You know, people keep asking to do certain types of videos for free, and I appreciate all the recommendations and things to look at, and I definitely take that into consideration. But sometimes it was like just some other videos that we were putting out. We had people just demanding, like the top 10 series that we do. Thank y'all for saying that we do the best top 10 producer series. I appreciate that, and I do agree. And you know why? The reason why is because me and my team understand the culture better than most. That's why we do the best top 10 series. But, you know, then we started having people like demand to us like, oh, can you, you know, just do this video, do that video. Oh, don't do those videos anymore. Just do this type of a video. And it's like, yo, bro, we can't monetize those videos. So if we're spending 4 or 5 hours a day trying to monetize, trying to, you know, make these videos that can't even be monetized, then it's just like, what's the point? What's the point if you're spending all this time making videos, but you can't pay your Wi-Fi bill, you can't pay the internet bill? You know what I'm saying? We got to pay for the internet. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, come on, y'all, like contribute a little bit, man. Contribute. They want to put money in Kendrick's pocket. Y'all want to go and spend $400 on a Kendrick Lamar ticket, which is cool. Dude's already a multi-millionaire. How about you support some of us that are on the come up too? You don't say, oh, no. You want to put your money into that because he's famous. Well, you know, that's just the way it goes, I guess. That's the way it goes. Especially in American culture, I guess that's the way it goes. But nah, man, I want to thank y'all for tuning in. I might actually do another stream, part 2 of this, later on this evening. I usually am supposed to go on at 10:30 Eastern time, but I decided to go on a little earlier today just to test the waters out. So maybe I'll go on again a little later tonight, or I will go on maybe tomorrow. But usually as of right now, and maybe I'll do a post on the YouTube. So I hope you guys subscribe to the channel because I plan to be way more consistent with these. Like I did a stream last night, did a stream this morning. I'm doing them back to back. So like Drake, back to back. So, yeah, man, like hopefully you guys can follow the channel so you can be in tune, because I think that YouTube definitely has 3 or 4 different markets that they push to. You got the shorts market, you got the long form video market, which is what I'm doing here. And then you also have the live stream, which is kind of what I'm doing here. So I think there's like different audiences that YouTube pushes these videos out to. So for those of you that are interested in these topics and like what I'm speaking about, I'd really appreciate it if you follow the channel and, you know, jump on the next stream with us. The schedule that I'm looking at right now is going to be Tuesdays and Thursdays, usually around 10:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, and Sundays at about 4:30 Eastern Standard Time. So yeah, man. But, you know, like I said, I may jump on later tonight. Not sure because I already did it now. Who knows? I might do a special stream tomorrow evening at 7:30, or shall I say 10:30 Eastern Time. So try to check that out. I will maybe announce it in the post. But yeah, man, I thank you guys for tuning in. And we've been on for about 2.5 hours. So I appreciate y'all, man. Thank you guys. I'll see you in the next one. Peace.